Our calls for service. We still have to support the city during these events.
And Collier says people should have fun, but also be alert for anything suspicious. And if you see something, say something. Mostly sunny. We're at 73 degrees in Midtown, warming up to 91 this afternoon. Hot and dry through Independence Day weekend. Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast is coming up. Well, happening now, debate continues on the House floor over President Trump's so-called big, beautiful bill after Congress pulled an all-nighter. A procedural vote passed early this morning, clearing the way for a final vote on the tax and spending package.
We expect this vote to take place in the House at any moment now. Speaker Mike Johnson is keenly aware he has a razor-thin majority. He has to keep his party united on this one, but he's confident that he does have the votes.
The president wants the bill on his desk by tomorrow, Independence Day. Well, grieving relatives flocked to the scene of a mass shooting in Chicago this morning, hours after a drive-by left at least 4 dead and 14 others hospitalized at a nightclub.
The victims were leaving an album release party for rapper Mellow Bucks at the Artist Lounge when shots were fired from a black SUV. Police say there were multiple shooters.
Michael Wallace reports no arrests have been made yet. Well, a tragic scene on the Chattahoochee River where a man has died while trying to save a child in the water. Roswell police say the man jumped in the river near Girard Landing Park. That child was brought to shore, but the man went underwater and never resurfaced. Officials found the body of who they believe that man to be after an hour of searching. They have not released his name. The FAA is investigating after a wing flap breaks off a Delta flight from Atlanta on its way to Raleigh, North Carolina. That flap is discovered in the driveway of a Raleigh home. The Atlanta-based airline confirms the flap came from a Boeing 737 on Delta Flight 3247. The flight landed safely with no reports of injuries or property damage. Some positive news now on the nutrition front. Young Americans are getting fewer of their calories from the drive-through window or the walk-up counter.
On any given day, says the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the average American aged 2 to 19 gets 11.4% of calories from fast food.
A decade ago, that was as high as 14%.
ABC News medical correspondent Dr. Darian Sutton.
Fast food is a great source for salt, sugar, fat.
Jim Ryan reports these are the key causes of high blood pressure, diabetes, and high cholesterol, which are major causes of America's #1 killer, and that is heart disease. Well, USA Today says Johns Creek has one of the top dog parks in the U.S. Newtown Dream Dog Park comes in at number 3 on the list of top parks for pooches. The fenced-in 1-acre park features artificial turf, sprinklers, agility obstacles, and water fountains. USA Today says the park also includes separate areas for large and small dogs, as well as benches and shade trees for their human companions. 9:04 now. Mark Arum Show begins in less than 2 minutes. First, though, time for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Triple team traffic with Smilin' Mark McKay.
Thanks, Shirley. 75 southbound through Marietta is improving. It was a rough go of it for a while, leaving the South Marietta Parkway exit 263, trying to get onto the 285 westbound ramp, all due to a crash that's working on the right shoulder. 285 south past Cobb Parkway exit 19. Downtown Midtown ride, a little sluggish on the north and southbound side of the connector. Another active morning near Lenox Square Mall. The Peachtree Juniors just set off from the start line at Lenox and Peachtree. Peachtree at Lenox Road will stay shut down throughout this day in preps for tomorrow's big race. Watching the I-85 corridor, it's been busy into and out of Gwinnett County. Ashley Frasca.
There was trouble in the center lane, 85 south at Pleasant Hill, and that quickly cleared, and so did the trouble in Brazelton, so that Jackson County ride will improve. 85 north getting up to Highway 53. Triple team traffic, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Mostly sunny this afternoon, high 91, lows tonight in the upper 60s to low 70s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, high 93. Saturday, sunshine continues with morning lows in the low 70s, daytime high 92.
And right now, 74 degrees in Marietta. You're at 76 in McDonough, 75 in Douglasville. More news at 9:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Cheryl Castro, 95.5 WSB.
Welcome, friends, to this July the 3rd edition of the Mark Arum Show, the penultimate edition of the Mark Arum Show before the 4th of July holiday. Got a big one for you today. Big movement in that Diddy verdict. A lot of reaction there and possible sentencing. We're going to update that on this busy travel weekend. Travel expert Peter Greenberg's going to join us live. We're going to chat with James Young from the legendary band Styx, and we're giving away tickets to see Styx and the Brotherhood of Rock. But probably most importantly, for those that are money insecure, food insecure, AC insecure. It's the return of $1,000 Thursdays. You're going to get 3 chances to win $1,000 just during this show. I'm going to give you keywords in the 9, 10, and 11 o'clock hours. You enter that keyword into the WSB radio app, and bing, bang, boom, you are $1,000 richer. Got to kick off, though, with the big story that developed from the overnight hours. Huge win for President Trump and his big, beautiful budget bill. A big hurdle cleared on the House floor around 1 this morning. It looks like they're going to see a vote on the full bill later this morning. But for all the hand-wringing that was going on the last couple of days, what's the House going to do with the budget bill? It looks like it's going to pass with ease. Speaker Mike Johnson.
The president's very engaged. He was, very helpful in the process. He helped answer questions and articulate his vision and what this bill will mean for the country and his agenda.
Engaged indeed. Apparently he was up at 1 in the morning making calls. We'll kick off our team coverage of the big budget bill with reaction from the White House. Joining us live from CBS News, Willie James Inman. Willie, good morning. Thanks for your time.
Hey there. Good morning. Good to be here.
I mean, no other way to say it, but huge victory for President Trump right now.
Yeah, that's right. It's looking like that could potentially be the case. Now, of course, the bill has to still pass a final vote. And at last check, the Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries was speaking on the House floor, essentially a delaying tactic before this moves through. But this would be the president's first major legislative accomplishment during his second term. It includes a huge number of priorities for this president. No taxes on tips. That is temporary for several years, of course. It also includes funding for border security, funding for the military, things that the president really wants to get accomplished in this bill, all packed in there, and he wants to get all of it to his desk by July 4th.
Yeah, Willie, if there was one, I mean, because he campaigned on a lot of things that are in this big bill, right? And you mentioned tax on tip, no tax on overtime. Is there a specific feather in the cap, do you think, that the president will have if and when this passes? And, a legacy building moment perhaps in this bill for him?
Well, I think one of the things this White House oftentimes likes to promote, and the president himself does this, is promises made, promises kept. And that's part of it, right? These are things that the president talked about on the campaign trail that he promised. And for him to be able to deliver that in the first several months within his second term is certainly something that he can tout directly to American voters when he goes out and speaks to them. It would obviously be a major accomplishment to have this on July 4th, tomorrow, America's birthday. This is a self-imposed deadline, not a hard and fast deadline, so to speak. But it really would be one of those, I guess you can call it victory lap moments for this president as he takes a leadership role and a really invested role in wrangling some of the members of Congress up there on Capitol Hill, as you mentioned, making calls until late in the night, posting on Truth Social, trying to compel members to support this legislation, but also having those in-person meetings yesterday as well. We didn't see the president yesterday, but he was working behind closed doors, meeting with members, meeting with some of the holdouts to get them across the finish line to support this big, beautiful bill, as he calls it.
Oh, very interesting. Do we know who he met with behind closed doors, or has that not been released?
Yeah, some of the lawmakers that he met with posted on social media. For the most part, the White House doesn't necessarily advertise who the president meets with, but a White House official did confirm to CBS News that he did have these in-person meetings up at the White House, I should say. And, of course, we know he is working the phones and posting on Truth Social. But the president does remain in touch with key members in the House, of course, Speaker Mike Johnson. Of course, he's talked with Leader Thune in this case to try to get this across the finish line. And remember, he has a razor-thin margin here. They can only afford to lose a few votes in the House. Of course, it passed in the Senate with that tie-breaking vote being cast by the vice president. So he really can't lose many votes here, and he's trying to work and make sure he gets all the support that he can to support this bill.
Willie James Inman, CBS News at the White House, joining us live on the Mark Arum Show. I was dubious, not that the bill would get passed, but you mentioned that self-imposed July 4th deadline.
Mm-hmm.
It just seemed to me that there were too many votes to move in that short of a time. But again, I am done doubting Speaker Johnson and President Trump because they got those votes to move. Is this just magnify the the political whip power that the president and Speaker Johnson have?
It really does. I think you're right on the money. President Trump, as you know, is a showman. He was in reality TV. He loves the optics. He loves putting on a show. And it's really been interesting to watch the past couple of weeks in Washington. Not only do you have the strike on Iran and then the ceasefire negotiated, you have President Trump negotiating a hostage release deal between Israel and Hamas. But on top of that, he has this domestic accomplishment on the cusp of it, right? Using the bully pulpit, so to speak, using his social media account to essentially compel these members to support this, or I'm going to support a primary challenger against you. The president is using all of his political power, his messaging to go after those members who oppose him, but in this case, to go after those members who are really on the fence about supporting this and try to compel them to support what would be the first key piece of legislation for his second term. And it really just shows the political power, not only the president, but that the Speaker of the House has as well in terms of whipping those members to their side.
Yeah, pretty remarkable. 24 hours ago when we were talking about this story on the show, I didn't foresee 24 hours later being like, oh, it's going to pass today. But by all indications, that bill will pass sometime this morning. That being said, Willie, assuming this passes, do we know what the president's 4th of July plans are?
Yeah, so the president will be here at the White House, and he is expected to meet with some of the B-2 bombers, the B-2 pilots who flew the B-2 bombers in Iran. The president and first lady are scheduled to meet with them. There will be, of course, a July 4th celebration here in Washington, D.C. They already have the flags up all across D.C. I'm talking to you right now. I'm standing outside of the West Wing. So we know that the president will be here to celebrate the 4th of July, and perhaps this will be one of those accomplishments that he can tout on America's birthday.
Might we see the president manning the grill on the 4th of July barbecue on the South Lawn?
Anything's possible. Actually, I'm giving this a peek right now, just off of the entrance where the press, where we're stationed. There's like some grills they're cooking. Probably some hot dogs and hamburgers. Not for us, I wish, but probably for some of the staff members. I just saw one of the Secret Service agents I know. He just came by with looked like he was holding like 2 hot dogs. So
nice.
All of that's already started here. Maybe we'll see the president on Man in the Grill. You never know with President Trump.
Hey, with my schedule, I am not opposed to a 9 a.m. hot dog. Willie James Inman, CBS News at the White House. Willie, great insight. Thanks for your coverage. Have a great 4th of July, my friend.
You too. Thank you.
There you go. I'm not Vinny. 9 a.m. hot dogs. Who would say no? Deborah would say no, but you and I would do that. I would. All right. First off, a lot to unpack there. I think it's very cool that the president and the first lady are going to meet the B-2 bombers that took out Iran. But I mean, just remarkable speed with which this got passed. Again, I knew it was going to get passed, but I thought it would be a drawn out process of a cat and mouse game, give and take. But bam, like 1 a.m. this morning, they cleared that first big hurdle and appears like it is going to pass. We'll get more on the budget bill in a second. But first, $1,000 Thursday. What a better way to kick off your July 4th weekend than winning $1,000. Your first chance, here it is. 9 a.m. keyword is today. Today, today. Enter the keyword today to the WSB Radio app or at WSBradio.com. You have until 9:59 a.m. to enter the keyword and win $1,000. The keyword is today. Today. Don't forget, you get a phone call after 9:59 a.m. from a number you do not recognize. Answer it. Could be us telling you you won $1,000. Yeah, $1,000 Thursdays. Your 9 a.m. keyword is today. Today. Good luck. And this is just one of 7 chances to win $1,000 today. So we're going to give you keywords, Deborah, 9 a.m., 10 a.m., 11 noon, 1, 2, and 3 p.m. And so every hour, one lucky Atlanta listener is going to win $1,000, courtesy of 95.5 WSB. I know I could use $1,000. All right, back to the big, beautiful bill. Again, the rapidity. Deborah, I've been saying, I'm never going to doubt when it comes to bill passages. I'm never doubting President Trump and Speaker Mike Johnson, right? Every time it seems
they get it done.
They get it done. I just didn't think it would happen this fast. And our buddy Jamie Dupree up on Capitol Hill, I've been monitoring his tweets throughout the night, and it was pretty remarkable. in the matter of minutes. It went from 4 no votes to no votes, and now just 1 no vote. But it looks like whatever was done, and there were no deals made, apparently, behind the scenes. Let's go back to D.C., the nation's capital, on Capitol Hill from CNN. It is one of their congressional reporters, Annie Greer, on what happened overnight. What happens next?
Well, we are still standing by waiting for that final vote, but Republicans are confident that they finally have the votes for this. And this has been a roller coaster. Up until 3 o'clock this morning, there were 5 Republicans who were voting against this legislation when Republicans can only lose 3. But House Speaker Mike Johnson deployed a strategy that we've seen him use again and again. He went to the floor, not sure if he would have the votes, but deployed a very public and direct pressure campaign on these lawmakers, trying to flip them to yes. If you were to watch the House floor overnight, you would have seen the Speaker and his leadership team meeting directly with members on the House floor, trying to assuage their concerns. Of course, President Donald Trump and his team have also been directly involved, and that is House Speaker Mike Johnson's secret weapon. A group of Republicans met with the president yesterday. The president sent his team to the Hill to answer any further questions that members may have. And part of the reason why this took so long is because Republicans have different concerns here, and that takes a lot of time to work out. You have one group of moderates who say that the Senate's version of the bill makes too deep of a cut to Medicaid, and they're worried about their constituents back home. You then have a group of more right-wing Republicans who say that the cuts don't go far enough. So that is the seesaw that Republican lawmakers had to walk. Johnson used his dare to defy strategy. It seems to have worked yet again, but we are just waiting for the top Democrat in the House to finish his speech. We saw the vice president just tweet that, Republicans are starting to get frustrated with how long this is going to take, but this whole process has taken a very long time.
Yeah, Hakeem Jeffries doing some sort of a filibuster move. At the end of the day, it's just delaying, it's stalling this vote. Apparently right now there is only one Republican no vote on the big bill. That is Representative Brian Fitzpatrick. He's the only House Republican that voted against advancing President Trump's policy bill. He represents a swing district in Pennsylvania. Speaker Mike Johnson apparently giving him a pass. He's like, he's a friend. I respect him. Obviously, he's worried about his political career in a swing district in Pennsylvania, so he is the only lone no vote. But again, we expect during this show that bill to pass, which is pretty remarkable that they will meet that self-imposed July 4th deadline. All right, $1,000 Thursday. Kiss, you missed the 9 a.m. keyword. It's today, Today, today. Enter the keyword today into the WSB Radio app or at WSBradio.com. You got till 9:59 to enter. And one lucky Atlanta winner is going to win $1,000 this hour. That's pretty cool. Hopefully things are cool on the road. I know it's been a busy July 4th holiday travel season thus far. What can you tell us now, buddy?
I can tell you that, Mark, all lanes are being held. Police activity, one of the airport routes on 285. This is 285 westbound past Flat Shoals, exit 48. 4 DeKalb police cruisers just pacing traffic very slowly to Boulder Crest. Again, this is a route to Hartsfield that you don't want to get caught up in the backups that now form at I-20. So take I-20 west into downtown to avoid this developing red alert on the outer loop of the perimeter. 285 westbound, the inner loop past Flat Shoals, exit 48. Slowing as you work your way out of Marietta into Smyrna past a crash that had all lanes blocked. Still working on the right shoulder, though, on 285 southbound near Cobb Parkway, exit 19. This report sponsored by Blindster.com. Blindster.com's 4th of July sale is your chance to save up to 50% site-wide on custom blind shades and shutters. This deal ends July 9th. Shop Blindster.com today. Smile, Mark McKay, 95.5 WSB.
When traffic
no
hits,
traffic getting through in either direction.
The Triple Team Traffic Center has you covered.
Even the bridge over 75 is being held.
Your source for Atlanta's traffic out of Spaghetti Junction along 285 westbound and a crash on Peachtree Boulevard 141 southbound before 285.
Brought to you by the Cool Ray Lifetime Parts and Labor Warranty.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Take your summer celebration to the next level with a Bullfrog hot tub from Brown's Pools and Spas. Entertain and enjoy your yard with your family like never before. Only Bullfrog offers the Jetpack Therapy System, allowing you to customize each seat to fit every body in your family. Shop our Independence Day hot tub sale now. Instant rebates up to $1,500 or special financing for up to 120 months. Offer ends July 7th. Celebrating over 50 years of BrownsPools.com.
It's officially time for Zero Res's annual summer sale. Take advantage and get 15% off all cleaning services. Mention Chris Chandler to secure this deal today or book online at ZeroResAtlanta.com. Zero Res, All they leave is clean.
Life can hit you with the unexpected. The loss of a job, a sudden illness, a dramatic jump in your mortgage payment, leaving you feeling helpless, forcing you to make difficult decisions. If you've fallen behind on your mortgage, are worried about financial problems, or are afraid of foreclosure, it's time to take control. You don't have to lose your home. The National Foundation for Credit Counseling can help. Seek advice from our certified housing counselors today. Call us at 866-687-6322 or visit mortgagehelpnow.org. The National Foundation for Credit Counseling. Real solutions for real people.
The National Foundation for Credit Counseling is a nonprofit organization that has been providing financial counseling and education for 60 years. Our national network of member agencies have helped millions of consumers with foreclosure prevention. NFCC member agencies are approved by the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development.
1-877 Cars for Kids. K-A-R-S Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
As a result of the all-out Republican assault on health care in the United States of America, people will die. Tens of thousands. Perhaps year after year after year.
That's House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries on the floor of the chamber as he continues to, I'm going to call it a filibuster, the final vote of this, but it is going to happen probably during the show. Deborah, turn up the music there, Vin. I made an executive decision, Deborah, without consulting my executive producer. 54 years ago today, Jim Morrison of The Doors died in Paris at the age of 27. So I made the decision. We're going to do all Doors today, Deborah. You okay with that?
I went and gave Vinny a list of my favorite
nice.
songs. Yeah.
He was only 27.
27 Club.
Unbelievable. One of my favorite bands. That I've always been asked, like, if you could see one artist that you know died before you, whatever.
Oh, sure.
And to me, my answer is always The Doors. I just would have loved to have been able to see The Doors live. But 54. All right, so I'm going to do the math. If he didn't die 54 years ago, Jim Morrison would be 81.
Yeah.
And what's his name? The guy that played Jim Morrison just passed.
Val Kilmer.
Val Kilmer. All right. So all Doors today from DJ Vinny. All right. The $1,000 Thursday keyword is today. TODAY. I really want you to win $1,000 today. So enter that keyword in the WSB Radio app or online at WSBradio.com. We're going to monitor the big budget bill passage today on the floor of the House. Pretty remarkable speed at which it got done or will get done. We do have to update what went on yesterday with the Diddy verdict and the possible Diddy sentencing. We're going to go to New York City after the 9:30 news. But I want to update a couple stories here in Georgia, starting with a mall shooting. I got the push alert on my phone, Deborah, about a mall shooting, and automatically I said, "Oh, Lenox Mall," right? That's the default, sadly. But this was in Savannah, a mall shooting in Savannah. What went down?
Yeah, 6 people were injured at Oglethorpe Mall in Savannah yesterday. The police confirmed that 3 people were injured, 2 adults, 1 child, and they haven't really released any more information, like the suspects, a motive, or anything. Like you, I just saw all of these alerts, and I thought, Lenox Mall, something's happening.
Exactly. I see a mall shooting, I automatically think Lenox Mall.
Yeah.
I see a drowning, and I automatically think Lake Lanier. But sadly, this is sad. There was a drowning in the metro Atlanta area yesterday. Wasn't at Lake Lanier. It was in the Chattahoochee River. Really sad story about what went down and who died.
Yeah, this is sad. It looks like some people might have just been enjoying the holiday weekend, having some fun in the water, but a man went in the water to try to save a boy that was drowning, and he was able to bring the boy back to shore, but then the man, I don't know if he got swept up in the current, but he disappeared. He went under. Roswell police was able to find the body later yesterday, but again, they haven't released those names either.
Was it his son that he saved?
It doesn't say his son. It just says a boy, so it might have been like a bunch of people all partying together. Or, it's a sad story.
Well, I mean, that's literally dying a hero, right? You save a child from the Chattahoochee River. I do like the Chattahoochee River. I've never swam in it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind when it's cooler out, not in the middle of summer, do like you ever seen those folks that get all the tubes together?
The shoot the hooch?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind in cooler weather. But there's stuff in Georgia rivers that scare me. Like that was something.
The E. coli levels, right? Like every year they release those levels.
Like snakes and stuff.
Oh,
like,
sure.
It's just growing up in New England, there were very few things, wildlife, that could hurt you. Like we had like some copperheads, but there was nothing really you had to fear in nature. Well, I guess now
they'll die in the winter.
Yeah, exactly. And then they're bears now for some reason. But I never feared water in Connecticut. Like I grew up down the street from Burr Pond State Park, just a pond. And go swimming. There was nothing in there that could do anything. But I have this irrational fear of Georgia lakes and rivers that there's things in here that can do me. Maybe it's just being over paranoid, but I wouldn't mind shooting the hooch. But rest in peace to the guy that saved the kid, and we'll try to get more info on that mall shooting in Savannah. Savannah's a weird town. I love that town. I remember the first time I went back, probably it was like 97. I was like, oh, I want to live in this town. I want to live here, like the buildings and everything and the history. But that was like during the fall or winter, and then I went back the following summer, and the back sweat meter was a 10. And there's some shady sections of Savannah. And
well,
so
that's any city.
Yeah, that's true. But I'm not moving to Savannah. You don't have to worry about that. All right, news, weather, and traffic in less than 2 minutes. Again, your $1,000 Thursday keyword is today. Today, today. When we come back, Diddy, verdict yesterday, reaction. What's the sentencing going to be? We'll get the latest from New York City when we come back on the Mark Arum Show. Social media is active at Mark Arum and at WSB Radio.
Well, I bet it is safe to say you are sick and tired of home services companies that don't show up on time, don't get it right, ghost you then when you need them later. Hey, it's Chris Chandler. I don't have to worry about any of that because I only trust TE Certified Electrical Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. TE Certified is a well-oiled machine with the highest level of communication and follow-up. They're on time, friendly, and fully stocked.
TE Certified, we love your home. I'm in almost every school bus and classroom. I go to school with your children. We say the Pledge of Allegiance together. You see me around the neighborhood and you tell me that I'm a pretty good kid. Well, I'm one out of every 5 children in America, and I'm struggling with hunger. This problem is closer than you think. My teacher tells me we can grow up to be whatever we want. I want to grow up to be someone who doesn't go to bed hungry. There's enough food in this country to feed everybody. Please visit feedingamerica.org today and find your local food bank for ways to help. Every dollar you donate helps provide 8 meals for kids like me, quietly struggling with hunger. Together, we are Feeding America, brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Get versatile entrees at Whole Foods Market. Save 20% on no antibiotics ever, air-chilled boneless, skinless chicken breast with Prime through July 8th. Toss on the grill for a protein-packed salad, pasta, or rice bowl. While supplies last, shop in-store or online. Terms apply.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It's 9:30. Good morning. I'm Cheryl Castro. News brought to you by Dr. Roof. Our top story, the Georgia DOT will try to make it a little easier for those hitting the road this long holiday weekend. It's suspending any interstate lane closures starting at noon. That's when spokeswoman Natalie Dale says holiday traffic congestion will start reaching peak levels.
We cannot say it enough, but plan ahead for holiday travel.
She says peak travel will continue through 8 o'clock tonight. She says even if you are staying in town, stay alert because this is a bad weekend for deadly crashes. It's an especially busy time of the roads with so many events on tap this weekend, including the AJC Peachtree Road Race, fireworks displays, and the FIFA Club World Cup quarterfinal match. Well, Metro Atlanta fire officials, meanwhile, remind you to take extra precautions if you are celebrating with fireworks this holiday weekend.
It can be one of the busiest times for fire-related injuries as America
Americans mark July 4th with fireworks, which is why Captain Craig Hutter with Henry County Fire Rescue says you should leave this to the professionals. But if you choose to put on your own show,
make sure that someone is 18 years of age, responsible, that you have a clear area to enjoy the fireworks in the cul-de-sac or in the backyard. Make sure you have a water supply on scene.
Most local ordinances also require you stop shooting fireworks by midnight on the 4th of July. Jonathan O'Brien, 95.5 WSB.
An 8-year-old child is safe this morning after a SWAT standoff in southwest Atlanta. Police recovered the child after a man barricaded himself inside the home on Burbank Drive. They later found the suspect dead inside the home. Investigators are still on the scene, and police were initially called to the home after reports of shots fired, but it's not clear what led to the incident. All new this morning, the nation's job growth picked up a bit last month.
Total non-farm payroll employment rose by 147,000 last month compared to 139,000 in May, with gains coming from state government and healthcare. In the shadow of DOGE-related layoffs, the federal government continued to lose jobs last month.
Jim Ryan reports the overall unemployment rate ticked down 0.1% to 4.1%. Well, a final vote is expected soon on President Trump's big, beautiful bill. The House Republicans worked through the night to get holdout members to reverse course on the spending and tax cut bill. A key procedural vote passed early this morning, moving the measure to the House floor for debate. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries has been speaking on the floor for hours in an attempt to delay the vote, but it's expected to pass and head to the president's desk by his deadline, July 4th. Fireworks, barbecues, and picnics will be on the agenda for many this holiday weekend. But as Bloomberg's Gina Cervetti tells us, a lot of people are also setting sail.
A Bank of America Institute study found that from January through May, Americans of various income levels cut their spending on airlines, lodging, and other forms of leisure amid rising economic uncertainty. But cruises have emerged as the popular option for wallet-watching vacationers looking for something more affordable than a typical trip. AAA estimates that a record 19 million Americans are expected to go on a cruise this year. I'm Bloomberg's Gina Cervetti for 95.5 WSB.
It's 9:33. Time to check traffic and weather. Smile and Mark McKay now live in the WSB 24-hour traffic center.
Trying to get to the airport's been a challenge, Cheryl, out of the I-20 interchange down to I-675. DeKalb police for more than a few minutes slowly paced traffic leaving I-20 and breaking it up near Boulder Crest Road, exit 51. They just released all lanes, but it is jammed, leaving the I-20 interchange, trying to get past Flat Shoals down to I-675. We'll start to see improvement there. Right lane delays, of course, now on I-20 westbound, leaving the work zone into DeKalb County, approaching I-285, and I-20 is slow on the west side, passing Six Flags. That's volume trying to feed into I-285 past exit 49, Fulton Industrial Boulevard. Smile and Mark McKay, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Mostly sunny today with low humidity, high 91, lows tonight in the upper 60s to low 70s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, staying dry, high 93. Saturday, sunny skies, morning lows in the low 70s, daytime high 92.
Right now, 75 degrees in Woodstock. Swanee, you're at 78. It's 77 in Decatur. More news at 10 o'clock. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Cheryl Castro, 95.5 WSB.
If it's happening on the streets of Atlanta,
Cobb County Medical Examiner's Office identifies 57 sets of cremains.
if it's happening on the roads leading to Atlanta,
Massive project at 285 and Georgia 400 has been a big improvement.
we've got it covered.
Atlanta jurors convict a former Customs and Border Protection officer.
Your 24/7 news source.
Covering the stories that impact you.
Tune in throughout the day to stay up to date.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's breaking news station.
The president's very engaged. He was, very helpful in the process. He helped answer
Speaker Mike
questions.
Johnson awaiting the passage of the big budget bill. When we come back, though, reaction and how long is Diddy going to spend behind bars? 2 minutes away on The Mark Arum Show.
First impressions matter, especially in the summer. Wise Guys Pro Wash will make sure your home makes the right impression. Soft wash, safe results, and zero hassle. Mention me, Chris Chandler, for $70 off your home, driveway, deck, or roof wash. Book at wiseguysprowash.com.
Men, trouble in the bedroom? Not anymore. Priority Men's Medical Center restores your love life in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Priority Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Priority Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. You'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients get their testosterone checked free. Call 404-885-8885. 404-885-8885. To restore your love life in just one visit, call now. 404-885-8885.
It's our 20th anniversary at North Georgia Replacement Windows, and we're celebrating with our biggest sale in company history.
It's Ted and Jonathan. For a limited time, save 25% on beautiful Infinity from Marvin fiberglass windows and doors.
Celebrate with us and upgrade your home's energy efficiency, comfort, and curb appeal. Window and door shopping made simple.
Hurry, 25% savings ends July 31st.
Infinity from Marvin, replacement windows, yeah!
I ask that you all join me in this symbolic act of faith, this lighting of Miss Liberty's torch.
39 years ago today on WSB Radio, President Ronald Reagan led a gala ceremony in New York Harbor at which the torch of the newly renovated Statue of Liberty was relit. 1986, July 3rd. I remember as a kid when, I don't know if you remember this in Wisconsin, Deborah, or not, but when they were refurbishing the Statue of Liberty, when they had the scaffolding all around it. Do you remember that?
I remember pictures of it. I was still a little kind of young to really know what was happening, but I do remember seeing pictures.
I remember driving to New York City, and you know, in 1986, I'm not paying attention to the news. I didn't know what was going on.
Yeah.
And I was like, Dad, we're driving in the city. I'm like, what's going on with the Statue of Liberty? And I still have never been to the Statue of Liberty.
Really?
Yeah, it just seems like a pain to get out there.
I have gone out there. I haven't gone inside. Like, to get inside the lawn was really long, but Ellis Island was fascinating. If you're into history, you would probably like Ellis Island.
I do. I just growing up in that area, you never really go to the tourist stuff.
I know.
I have been to the Empire State Building on a school field trip, but and the UN and all the museums, but never ever the Statue of Liberty. One of the coolest pictures in time is a movie called Remo Williams, The Adventure Begins, and it was filmed in that time when the Statue of Liberty was being refurbished. And there's a great scene, like a fight chase scene on the scaffolding of the Statue of Liberty. Like, I wonder if they were going to film at the Statue of Liberty, and then they're like, oh, it's under construction. And then the screenwriter was like, oh, we can do a fight scene on this. I mean, it was great. But in that movie, you got the Twin Towers, you got the statue. It's another movie, I'm sure. Well, I'm not even going to blame Vinny for not seeing it. Most people have never seen the movie Remo Williams, The Adventure Begins, which led you to believe, like, oh, there's going to be a sequel. There was no sequel. Anyway, welcome back to the Mark Arum Show. Your $1,000 Thursday 9 a.m. keyword is today, TODAY. Enter that keyword into the WSB Radio app or WSBradio.com/cash, and you can win $1,000. I personally am giving away $3,000 during the show, $7,000 during the day. Eric Von Hessler and Eric Erickson will be giving away $1,000 during their programs as well. All right, joining us now from New York City. Speaking of New York City, it's our buddy Peter Haralambous from ABC. Peter, the Diddy verdict broke yesterday during the show, and we were spinning plates trying to read into the verdict. There's been some movement since we had the verdict, but for folks that missed the verdict yesterday, let's start there. What did the jury say yesterday about the charges against P. Diddy?
Yeah, so the jury largely acquitted Sean Combs. They acquitted him on the most serious charges, that was racketeering and sex trafficking, and they convicted him on two lesser charges, transportation to engage in prosecution. While it's a conviction, it seems like a total victory for Sean Combs. He's been cleared of these serious charges. He faces a much lesser period of time in prison, and it shows. The jury rejected the prosecution's theory that Sean Combs coerced women into sex and that he allegedly ran a criminal enterprise. Ultimately, the only thing they convicted him on was this idea that he transported two women across state lines for the purposes of sex, even if those women might have been consenting adults at the time. That was really all it took to convict him on those two offenses. He faces, according to the defense, about 1 to 2 additional years in prison. Prosecutors suggest it might be more, around 4 to 5 years, but all things considered, much less than the life in prison he faced if he was convicted on that racketeering and sex trafficking charge.
So it looked, Peter, like a best case scenario for Diddy, and I thought, or he thought, that he would probably get to go home free man last night, but the judge says no. What's the status on Diddy, and where did he spend last night?
Yeah, that's exactly right. He spent another night in the Federal Detention Center in Brooklyn, one of the most notorious detention centers, I'll note, in the entire country. He seemed to have a bit of a roller coaster ride yesterday. He literally dropped to his knees and began praying in open court after he learned of the verdict. He got a round of applause from the gallery, and he basically shouted to his family that he's coming home, baby, he's coming home. But ultimately, the judge denied his application for release pending his sentencing. He came to the conclusion that, Combs is a violent man. He looked at the defense argument. The defense, for context, argued throughout this trial that Combs engaged in domestic violence. They openly admitted that, and they argued that while he was a bad person because of that, he's not guilty of sex trafficking or racketeering. That argument totally worked with this jury. They rejected that sex trafficking, that coercive sex argument, but the judge noted that because they openly admitted this violence, this domestic violence, there wasn't any reason to let him go because he's still a danger to the public and others around him.
Peter Haralambous from ABC joining us on the Mark Arum Show. So until sentencing, he's still behind bars. Do we know when sentencing will be?
The judge tentatively set a date in October. The defense said they want to sentence Combs as quickly as possible, so the judge suggested a willingness to speed that up. We'll get a better sense next week. The lawyers are due back in court for a remote hearing where they'll iron out the next steps in the sentencing process. Combs' lawyers have suggested that he should get a very minimal sentence, or if anything, he should be able to go home. I think that's unlikely based on what we saw from the judge yesterday, but we should get a better sense of all this over the next week. That hearing set for Tuesday.
So if sentencing is in October, then Diddy stays in that Brooklyn facility until then?
That's exactly right. Oof. And for what it's worth, whatever sentence he does get will get subtracted the 10 or so months he spent in that facility. But MDC, the Metropolitan Detention Center, is literally one of the worst facilities in the entire federal prison system. It has a notorious track record for human rights abuses. This is something that the judge has noted. Nevertheless, Combs has spent the last 10 months of his life there as he's awaited trial.
The judge thanked the jurors for their service, and he said it was up to them if they wanted to speak about the case. Have we heard from any of the jurors on this jury?
I think we're waiting at this point to see. I think everyone wants to see what actually took place in the deliberations room. I'm not aware of a network that has booked one just yet, though that's kind of the big hunt at this point. Really, it's going to be interesting to see what actually happened back there, because we got all these kind of conflicting notes. There was speculation 2 days ago, that Combs was going to get convicted basically across the board. His team looked devastated when they got that note on Tuesday suggesting that a verdict had been reached in 4 of the 5 charges. So to see what actually took place back there and how they were able to acquit him, really, of the more serious charges here is going to be fascinating.
Yeah, they fooled me with the jurors' notes. I thought for sure he would be convicted on those first 4 charges. The only question was the racketeering charge, but no, it fooled everybody. All right, Peter Haralambous, ABC News. Peter, great job covering the trial throughout. Enjoy your weekend. Have a great 4th of July, my friend.
Thanks so much, Mark. Take care.
Peter Haralambous, ABC in New York City, covering the Diddy trial for us. Deborah, yesterday on the show, you remember, once the verdict came out, we were all kind of stunned on that. We're like a best possible case scenario for Diddy. I guess the best possible would have been like not guilty on all charges. But remember, we were waiting. We're like, all right, we want to hear from Diddy's attorneys. Yep. We were hoping Diddy would come out. Diddy hasn't spoke, is probably not going to speak since he's back behind bars. But eventually, I think it was like 5:30 or 6 p.m. last night, we finally heard from Diddy's legal team. First off, team is an understatement. I didn't know how many, because there's been no cameras in the courtroom.
Yeah.
He had like a baker's dozen lawyers, Vinny. Did you see that? Like
8, 9 of them.
Yeah, it was crazy. All right, so I polled the press conference. It wasn't even a press conference, really. They didn't take questions, but every single one of his 8 attorneys made statements on the courthouse in New York. So I pulled the audio, and I sent it to Vinny, and I wanted him to make a montage. So these are Diddy's attorneys commenting on what the jury did, what the judge did, and their client.
The media got it wrong about Sean Combs. We're proud of him. We are completely honored. Thank my client, Sean Combs. He is incredible, and I want to thank him. He actually battled for his freedom, for his innocence. He did it.
There are very few people around whom a legal team could coalesce and become one. And Sean Combs is that person, and we are all blessed to be part of it.
All right, first of all, Diddy got off on the racketeering charge and the human trafficking charge, right? The big win for him. He still got convicted of prostitution. He is still there's proof that he is domestically violent. Like, he is not going to go to jail for the rest of his life, but we've found out that he is not a good dude, right? Like, that's, to me, if you're an attorney and I understand a defense attorney's job, do the best for your client, right? We've all seen the movies where, the client's guilty, but he needs an attorney. You got it. But to come out and I got to play that again, praising the man himself. What? They weren't
honored?
Yeah, they're honored to work for this amazing man. We're humbled to work. What? Did you not see the videotape of him beating his girlfriend? Like, what? If you're a defense attorney, come out and be like, all right, we're happy with the verdict. We're moving on. Justice, sir. But to heap praise on this dude?
The media got it wrong about Sean Combs. We're proud of him. We are completely honored. Thank my client, Sean Combs. He is incredible, and I want to thank him.
Incredible.
He actually battled for his freedom, for his innocence. He did it.
There are very few people around whom a legal team could coalesce and become one. And Sean Combs is that person, and we are all blessed to be part of it.
Blessed. I mean, I'm watching this press conference, Deborah. I'm like, oh, did they just get Mother Teresa off a murder charge? Like Pope Leo? Like, I mean, listen, I was a Diddy fan. He's produced some amazing music. He's actually a pretty good actor. So I was really stunned and disappointed when these allegations broke. But it's been revealed. We've seen a video of him beating Cassie Ventura. Like, he's doing some dirty. Maybe he's not a racketeer. Maybe he's not a sex trafficker. But that's not you're not going to want to leave your wife at home with Diddy like this. They're heaping praise on this guy. I don't get it. I could never be a defense attorney. Or if I did, if I was there might have been a ninth attorney that was like, I'm not gonna say boo. We got him off the big charges. That's all I'm gonna say. We did our jobs. We're honored. He brought us all together. What? And I was as big a Diddy fan as anybody. But if I'm not getting in front of a microphone and be like, oh, this dude is, he's the second coming. Man. Privilege to call him a friend. What? Anyway, there's the Diddy. He's in jail, and as Harlambu said, he could be in jail till October for sentencing. And that's, first of all, the wave of emotions that Diddy had, thinking he was going to get convicted and spend the rest of his life in jail. And it looks like, he dodged the bullet, and he thought he was going home last night. And then now the judge is like, no, not so fast. No bail. You're violent. You're domestic violent. Your attorneys even said it in the closing argument. They said it 3 hours before. They're like, well, yeah, our client's violent dude. But he's not a sex trafficker. And then 3 hours later, like, oh, what a man. What a man. He turned water into wine. The loaves. I was like, what are you saying? Anyway. We'll soon be done with Diddy. Will the music business be done with Diddy? That is something that we have to talk about. All right, $1,000 Thursday keyword is today, Today, today. You got 10 minutes, folks, to enter that into the WSB Radio app or at WSBRadio.com/cash. Chance for you in $1,000 this hour, $1,000 next hour, $1,000 for every hour until 4 p.m. here on 95.5 WSB. Busy travel period. It's not even a travel weekend anymore, Smiling. How are we doing on the roads right now?
Very slow on the downtown connector, Mark 7585 southbound, leaving Atlantic Station 17th Street. Yeah, that volume is pouring into Midtown now, slowing I-75 back at Northside Drive and I-85 at the 400 split. Closer you get to downtown, the better you're doing. And if you're heading to Hartsfield, the connector southbound works well below I-20, but still a bit slow trying to get into Midtown on the north side of the downtown connector. West side perimeter still in recovery mode. Police paced traffic for a while in the first part of this hour on 285 west past Flat Shoals exit 48. I'm still seeing a slow zone leaving Covington Highway. This report sponsored by Sam's Club. Ready for some locked-in summer value at Sam's Club till July 22nd. Prices are held on over 1,000 items, including summer must-haves like ice cream. Sign up for a membership and join at samsclub.com/join. Smiler Mark McKay, 95.5 WSB.
He's the guy at the desk next to you.
So if you can't handle your real face, then don't tell me how to handle my life.
He's your co-pilot for the ride home.
They have a lot more money now because they stopped kneeling.
Eric Von Hessler.
Things are going to get broken.
Eric Von Hessler.
Today at 3.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Here at Massey, we know a thing or two about bugs. We've been keeping pests out of homes for almost 100 years. Our customized pest prevention program keeps bugs outside, in their home, not yours. Because when we prevent pests from getting in, we protect health, home, and family. Make your home a Massey home. Schedule your free inspection today at MasseyServices.com. Massey Services. Expect more and get it.
Market volatility isn't slowing down. If you're nearing retirement, now is not the time to wait and see. Every day of uncertainty can put your future at risk. It's time to diversify. I'm Jeff Jr. with Trajan Wealth, and I want you to know you can create certainty, locking in guaranteed income for life. This means predictable, stable cash flow, even in turbulent times. You've worked too hard to leave your retirement to chance. Right now, there are options to receive up to 30% upfront or annual growth of up to 10% for retirement income. That's up to $30,000 upfront or up to $10,000 per year on $100,000, all guaranteed for retirement income. Don't wait. Call 404-390-4000. That's 404-390-4000.
Annuity guarantees are based on the claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company. Any examples provided are hypothetical. Annuities are issued with prospectus and sales brochures and should be reviewed carefully before funding as features and benefits vary. DBA in most states as Trajan Wealth Insurance Solutions.
All right, so picture this. I'm pulling up to the house after a long day, and I almost thought I was at the wrong place. The siding was sparkling, the driveway was spotless, the deck looked brand new, and the roof looked like it had been replaced. Well, what had actually happened was I had booked Wise Guys Pro Wash to come by while I was away, and boy, they had crushed it. One call, a quick quote, next day service, and they didn't even need anybody home. They're not blasting your house either with high pressure or a box store pressure washer. Wise Guys only uses the best equipment in the industry. They soft wash everything, so it's safe on paint, trim, siding, everything. My home from top to bottom looks brand new. We actually had company that weekend, asked if we had renovated. Nope, just one visit from my friends at Wise Guys Pro Wash. If you want your house to shine for the summer, do what I did. Mention me, Chris Chandler, and get $70 off your next service. Book now at wiseguysprowash.com before they fill up.
Take your summer celebration to the next level with a Bullfrog hot tub from Brown's Pools and Spas. Entertain and enjoy your yard with your family like never before. Only Bullfrog offers the Jetpack Therapy System, allowing you to customize each seat to fit every body in your family. Shop our Independence Day hot tub sale now. Instant rebates up to $1,500 or special financing for up to 120 months. Offer ends July 7th. Celebrating over 50 years of BrownsPools.com.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. If you're over 50 and tired of your wireless bill getting higher and higher, there are 4 things to consider. 1, how much data are you really using? As we get older, we use less data on our wireless phone, but you're probably still paying for an unlimited plan that was designed for 20-somethings. 2, if you see Get a Phone on Us, get your sneakers out and run the other way. No one is giving you a free phone. You are paying for that phone over time with an overpriced rate plan and a long-term commitment. 3, check the fine print on that $15 a month plan. It's probably an intro price that'll double or triple later. You might even have to pay for several months of service up front. Number 4, be aware of cable company wireless plans. Most of your usage will be on Wi-Fi instead of 5G, and your calls and battery life could suffer. Switch to Consumer Cellular and get the same fast, reliable nationwide service without the big wireless bill. Our plans start at just $20 a month.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/facts. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
9:55 on the Mark Arum Show, honoring the man Jim Morrison, passed away 54 years ago in Paris at the age of 27. Deborah, you've been to France. Did you go to Jim Morrison's grave?
It's very hard to find Jim Morrison's grave.
Oh, really?
Just the way that graveyard is set up and how many people are there, it's not exactly the easiest thing to find. And then I don't read French very well, so it's kind of easy to get lost in there.
Parlez-vous français?
I know that, but that's about it.
All right. Anyway, all Jim Morrison today, the lead singer of The Doors. Speaking of music, James Young from Styx is going to join us a little bit later on the show, and we're giving away tickets to see Styx and others in the Brotherhood of Rock concert this Sunday at Ameris Bank Amphitheater. Giving away those tickets and giving away $1,000 right now. Your $1,000 Thursday keyword 9 a.m. hour. You just got a couple minutes left to enter in the WSB Radio app. It's today. Today is the keyword TODAY. Some celestial news, Deborah. The James Webb Telescope keeps on giving and has located a new planet that might be Earth-like.
Yeah, they're saying it's a planet with a mass about 100 times bigger than Earth, and it's right around a red dwarf star, which would kind of be their sun. They're calling it TWA7b. I don't really know what the name means, but they're saying it could be a fairly young planet, and it's cold enough to have temperatures between 120 or 5 and 120 degrees Fahrenheit, which is right about the sweet spot for life.
Now, but how much bigger is it than Earth?
100 times bigger than Earth.
Yeah, I don't think we could live on that. Like just the gravitational pull, right? It'd be tough to walk on a. I could be way off on this, and there's some physicist going, "You're an idiot, Aram," and that's true. But because I don't know, I could be wrong, but I would just think on a planet that big, the gravitational pull would be that much stronger.
Well, doesn't it depend on the star that's pulling it too? Like, our distance to the sun.
Sure. I don't know
how far away this red dwarf. I don't know. Where was our astrophysicist that we had on?
But anyway, I love the James Webb Telescope, man. It's phenomenal. It's given us stuff we've never even dreamt of before. Thank you for that update, Deborah. All right, you got 2 minutes. Keyword today, TODAY. That's the $1,000 Thursday keyword. Enter it into the WSB Radio app or WSBRadio.com/cash. I'll give you another keyword if you don't win this hour, which you should. I'll give you another keyword next hour. When we come back after news, weather, and traffic, Hakeem Jeffries still speaking on the floor of the House, delaying the passage of the big budget bill. We'll go live to the floor of the House next on The Mark Arum Show.
Why are John Foy and Associates known for their responsiveness?
When you are injured on the job, it affects every aspect of your life. I understand that it's not only your ability to earn income which is affected, but also your ability to live your day-to-day life and be there for your family. It's therefore important to me to not only have a passion for the law, but to have a passion for the people and the families I fight for. This belief is a belief I hold dear and a belief I have built my firm on.
Injured? Call attorney John Foy and Associates today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. Your car, running or not, could be picked up as soon as the next day. No title, no problem. Go to carsforkids.org today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Moving is supposed to be exciting, but let's be honest, it usually turns into a juggling act. Sell one house, buy another, try not to lose your mind. That's where Orchard comes in. Hey, it's Eric Von Hessler. Orchard flips the process. Instead of waiting for your current home to sell, Orchard gives you cash up front so you can buy your next place first, settle in, and breathe a little. While you're unpacking, Orchard is busy getting your old home ready, handling repairs, staging, even upgrades to help it sell for top dollar. And when it does, you get that extra cash too. So yeah, one payday when you buy, another when you sell. It's not magic, it's just smart real estate. No stress, no awkward timing, no crashing in your aunt's guest room for a month. Start with a free home valuation at orchard.com. 2 paydays, 1 move, 0 chaos. That's Orchard.
WSB Atlanta, WSBB FM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
News, weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Hi there, good morning. It is 10 o'clock. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news is sponsored by TE Certified Electrical Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Happening right now in Washington. Democrats are doing all they can to stall a vote in the House on the president's so-called big, beautiful bill. Well into the 4th hour of his speech today on the floor of the House, House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries repeated what he had said not long before it all started when he started speaking in opposition of the massive spending bill.
I'm here to take my sweet time on behalf of the American people.
And he is. House rules giving unlimited time to leaders to speak, the so-called magic minute, ahead of a final vote on a bill. That vote expected today. President Trump has said that he wanted the spending bill on his desk before July 4th. That's tomorrow. The Supreme Court has agreed to review a case on transgender students' participation in school sports. It's all new here at 10 o'clock. The justices this morning saying they will review lower court rulings in favor of transgender athletes in Idaho and West Virginia. The case highlights a broader national debate over transgender rights, with more than 24 states, including Georgia, enacting laws restricting transgender women and girls from taking part in certain sports. All right, your weather for today. It's going to be mostly sunny, low humidity, and a high of 91, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. She'll have Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast coming up in just a matter of minutes. Speaking of weather, severe weather in parts of the country could impact your travel plans for the holiday weekend. Rob Marciano has details.
A massive chunk of the Northeast is going to be the target zone for thunderstorms that could create some damaging winds and some hail, and that includes places like Philadelphia, New York City, up through Albany, Burlington, all the way up through northern New England. And the timing of this is like 5 to 9 o'clock tonight.
And he says if you're headed south to the beaches, lots of rain expected in Tampa, Orlando, and the Fort Myers areas. And you can expect the roads to be crowded at many times today. More than 2 million Georgians are going somewhere by car for the 4th. And the Georgia Department of Transportation expects noon to 8 today to be the busiest time for travel. Spokeswoman Natalie Dale says that's why they're suspending construction-related lane closures starting at noon today.
As we approach these larger holidays, we of course try to limit any lane closures that we can around major projects.
And she says you want to watch out for a lot of out-of-town drivers passing through the metro area, and keep an eye out for impaired drivers this weekend with so many big events happening in town. The FAA is investigating after a wing flap breaks off a Delta flight from Atlanta on its way to Raleigh, North Carolina. That flap discovered in the driveway of a Raleigh home. The Atlanta-based airline confirming the flap came from a Boeing 737 on Delta Flight 3247. The flight landed safely with no reports of injuries or property damage. And the new report on jobs has now been released this morning. The monthly jobs report showing stronger than expected hiring, 147,000 new net jobs, and unemployment dropping a notch to 4.1%. That's a sign the labor market remains strong despite worries over tariffs or economic slowdown. Business analyst Jill Schlesinger.
We saw more job losses in the federal government, but just 7,000, though that number is down by 69,000 since peaking in January. State and local jobs more than made up for those 7,000 jobs lost, adding almost 50,000 jobs.
And she says that healthcare was up by 39,000 jobs. Let's take a look at the markets. We're in the green. The Dow's up 283 at 44,767. NASDAQ is also in positive territory, up almost a full percent, and the S&P is up more than 0.5%. It's time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Smiling Mark McKay joining us now from the 24-hour traffic center.
Morning, Sabrina. Yeah, the DOT says that noon will start to be the heaviest time on the roadways. Maybe folks are taking the advice and getting out early, because we are picking up slow zones now passing Six Flags. The right lane's quite crowded on I-20 east past Fulton Industrial Boulevard. Also see slowing out of East Atlanta on I-20 westbound, leaving Moreland Avenue to the downtown connector. Downtown is getting crowded, so it's northeast and northwest Atlanta. The slow flow into Midtown on I-75 starts now at Northside Drive, and it's getting slower, leaving the 485 corridor, rolling south toward Atlantic Station. Heading to the airports, you're in good shape using 285, circling the city. Smiler Mark McKay, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. Mostly sunny this afternoon, high 91, lows tonight in the upper 60s to low 70s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, high 93. Saturday, sunshine continues with morning lows in the low 70s, daytime high 92.
It is 81 degrees in Jonesboro, 78 in Jefferson, 79 right now in Johns Creek. We'll have more news at 10:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
Welcome back to the show, and a good Thursday morning to you. I know it feels like a Friday, but it's Thursday, folks. Mark Aram here, you there. It's 10:05, 5 minutes after 10 o'clock. This is the Mark Arum Show, live Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to noon on 95.5 WSB. Extended fam with us today. Deborah, the executive producer of the program. Vinny, Two Slices, filling in for Longoria on the other side of the takeout window. Heather, no nickname, screens your calls. Just a couple of minutes, we're going to talk to James Young from Styx. Coming up at 11:35, we're going to give away tickets to the Brotherhood of Rock featuring Styx. That concert this Sunday at Maris Bank Amphitheater. We are going to continue $1,000 Thursdays in just a couple minutes to give you another keyword in the $1,000 Thursdays. You enter that into the WSB Radio app or WSBradio.com/cash. You win $1,000 courtesy of WSB. And in 30 minutes, travel expert Peter Greenberg is going to join us live on this busy travel 4th of July weekend. Continue our coverage, though, of the top story today. You heard it on Atlanta's Morning News. What it seems to be an imminent passage of the big budget bill. Hakeem Jeffries is still speaking on the House floor. Let's listen in live.
United States Congress, we have a responsibility to stand up for what is right and stand up for what is right in the chamber that we serve in. That's what we should all be doing. And so our House Republican colleagues, Mr. Speaker, have one last opportunity to join us as Democrats. Every single Democrat who's going to stand up and protect the health care of the American people.
So
stand up and protect
that's
the
Minority Leader
assistance of the American
Hakeem
people.
Jeffries.
Stand up
He
and
has been
protect our
speaking
farmers.
for
Stand
hours
up and
right
protect-
now, kind of delaying the inevitable. But it didn't look inevitable not too long ago. Overnight in the hours, there were some changes of votes. Republican no votes to yes votes to advance the bill. House expected soon to vote on President Trump's tax and spending cuts package. Jeffries is speaking for hours to hold up the bill that the GOP is trying to push through. CBS's Nicole Killian has more from Capitol Hill.
After months of work in both chambers, President Trump's signature legislation is now poised to become law, with boosts to border security and ICE enforcement, increases in defense spending, and an extension of his 2017 tax cuts. That includes an increase in the child tax credit, a $1,000 savings account for newborns, plus no taxes on tips and overtime. But it also implements new work requirements and other reforms for safety net programs like food stamps and Medicaid.
There's been a lot of criticism on the from fiscal hawks about the amount of spending in this bill. That's my biggest problem with this bill, is that it adds to the deficit, doesn't decrease the deficit. But from our Capitol Hill buddy, Jamie Dupree, he says, quote, "It was messy, but now will be a big GOP victory. All of it happened in the middle of the night as the House voted 219 to 213 to advance a massive tax and budget bill. Jammed with much of President Trump's legislative agenda. That vote puts the big, beautiful bill on course for approval this morning, which means Trump will get to sign it into law by that self-imposed July 4th deadline. Just like in the Senate, House Republicans couldn't approve the bill without some drama. For about 5 hours, it looked like the GOP rebels were going to derail the bill. But then at around 3:20 a.m., 3:20, everything changed as a dozen Republicans returned to the House floor and voted in favor of the plan. Representative Tim Burchett out of Tennessee, one of the dozen GOP lawmakers who initially refused to get on board, said, quote, "We just passed what's called the rule after some late night negotiations. Things are falling into place." That, according to Burchett, it wasn't immediately clear what had changed. Apparently, there has been no horse trading. Speaker Johnson said there was no special carve-outs like they did in the Senate for Lisa Murkowski. So I don't know what flipped those votes. Was it just the pressure from Speaker Johnson and President Trump? Speaking of Speaker Johnson, he had refused to admit defeat, leading a vote to advance the bill open for 6 hours. And then, according to Jamie, in the blink of an eye, when most people were asleep, the measure went from likely defeat to a 219 to 213 victory. Only Representative Brian Fitzpatrick ended up voting against the plan on the GOP side. And Speaker Johnson basically said, "That's okay. I like this guy. He did what he had to do." More from Speaker Johnson about moving the bill forward.
We're going to deliver the big, beautiful bill, the President's America First agenda, and we're going to do right by the American people. This is going to be a great thing for the country. Look forward to moving it forward.
You're going to pass it tonight?
That Speaker Johnson before they saw that legislative victory on the House floor. Again, I had no doubt that this would pass. I just didn't think it would be that quickly. I thought it would be after July 4th, especially how messy it was on the Senate side to get that 50-50 tie, and then Vice President Vance being the tie-breaking vote. All right, who's better off with this bill? This is not my opinion. I have not read the entire 900 bill, but on the surface, this apparently who's better off with this bill? Corporate America. Corporations are betting they'll benefit from the legislation, making the permanent tax breaks that were part of the 217 tax and job cuts. Manufacturers should be better off. They're happy the bill would make significant changes to how U.S. tax code treats construction of new manufacturing facilities. High-income Americans, the net income for the top 20% of earners would increase by nearly $13,000 a year after taxes and transfers, according to analysis of the near final version of the Senate bill by the Penn-Wharton budget model. That amounts to a 3% average increase in income for those households. I think that might be me. Not to rub salt in your...
Sure?
I don't know. I make way more money than I deserve. I don't know what percentage I'm in. So maybe this is a win for the Aram household. Maya does well.
Cards.
I do well. So maybe I'm a winner here. According to the analysis, worse off lower income Americans. Many people at the lowest end of the income ladder would be worse off because the package would enact historic cuts to the nation's safety net program, particularly Medicaid and food stamps. Deficit hawks, big losers on this. That's the only thing I had a problem with. Senate version of the package would increase the deficit by about $3.4 trillion over the next decade. That, according to the CBO. Now, to be fair, Republicans that are in favor of this bill saying that with the passage of this budget bill, the economy is going to be energized, and that deficit, that CBO projection, is wrong because we're going to be collecting more tax revenue because the economy is going to be booming. We'll wait and see. Obviously, we all want the economy to boom, so hopefully they are correct. But again, we're waiting the passage. If it happens live during the show, we will bring it to you. All right, 10 a.m., $1,000 key, 10 a.m., $1,000 keyword. You ready? Gonna give away $1,000 right now. Your 10 a.m. keyword. Oh, this is appropriate. Fireworks. 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 Enter the keyword fireworks into the WSB Radio app or at WSBradio.com. You have until 10:59 a.m. to enter the keyword, win $1,000. Keyword is fireworks. 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 And don't forget, this is important. If you get a call after 10:59 a.m. from a number you don't recognize, answer it. Could be us telling you you won $1,000. 10 a.m. keyword is fireworks. 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 Good luck, everybody. Win that money. All right, joining us on the Mark Aram Show from the legendary band Styx. So excited to welcome to the program James Young. Mr. Young, good morning. Thanks for your time.
My pleasure.
So excited. Coming to town, the Brotherhood of Rock Tour this Sunday at Marist Bank Amphitheater. This sounds like an amazing collaboration. What's this Brotherhood of Rock Tour all about?
Well, it's classic rock guys banding together to try to put together a great night of entertainment for our fans. And Don Felder, who was in the Eagles, he'll be sort of opening the whole thing. And then Kevin Cronin, who was part of REO Speedwagon. And then there's the rock band Styx, myself, and which I've been in from the beginning, and Tommy Shaw, who is really the alpha dog, who's from the South. He's our home run hitter. So
how did that collaboration come together? Where Styx, I mean, who wouldn't go to see Styx on their own, but to get these other rock legends involved, how did that all come about?
We spiked their food and then threatened them with some other stuff. No, I don't know. It's just every now and then I think it's fun actually to be on the road with your buddies, and that doesn't always happen. And if we book it so it's going to be what I've mentioned it's going to be. I mean, Don Felder's the Eagles, a great guitar player and one of the best known bands in the business ever. Most successful, I should say, and then REO Speedwagon, which has sold a heck of a lot of rock albums, and then the rock band Styx, which, as I say, I've been in since the beginning, back in '72.
Yeah, it's been a minute. So, is it going to be all Styx songs? Are we going to hear some Eagles stuff, some Speedwagon? What are we going to hear Sunday at Marist Bank?
Well, probably what we'll do is I'm pretty sure this is how it's been organized because I haven't been there for every discussion. But Felder will come out and probably do a set of Eagles songs, and then REO Speedwagon will follow him with Kevin Cronin in doing the songs of REO Speedwagon. And I think he's got a bunch of guys from the band in with him on that. And then it'll be the rock band Styx. Myself, Tommy Shaw, Todd Zuckerman, maybe the best drummer on the planet, and Lawrence Gowan and Canadian superstar that replaced other members.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Brotherhood of Rock this Sunday at Marist Bank Amphitheater. Talking to the main man, founding member of Styx, James Young. James, I got to ask, have you seen the movie Big Daddy before, and how Styx was referenced in that movie?
Oh, I mean, that's a long time ago. Yeah, and yes, I have, of course.
Did you know that Sandler was such a big fan?
Well, we're Chicago guys. Sandler's a West Coast guy, I believe, is where he grew up. And
New Hampshire, actually.
Oh, New Hampshire, that's
Yeah.
right. Duh. And I don't know, we had bumped into him a few times on the road, and we had heard he was a fan, so we invited him to come out. And then, so he was on stage with us for a few little bits and pieces, and then he wanted to go out and do his own thing as part of his show. So he's a fan of ours, and we're a fan of his, and then we're just going to have a big party and move it from city to city.
Yeah, I mean, who isn't a fan of Styx? Very excited to see you this Sunday. Brotherhood of Rock Tour, Marist Bank Amphitheater. James Young, Mr. Young, thanks so much for your time, and we'll catch you on Sunday.
Sounds great.
Thank you, sir.
Very excited.
We'll be there.
All
See
right.
you, buddy.
James Young
Bye.
from Styx. They'll be the Brotherhood of Rock Tour this Sunday, the Marist Bank Amphitheater, 11:37. Deborah's going to give away tickets to see that concert. How many pairs of tickets today to see that concert, Deborah?
You have 2 pairs, so 4 tickets.
Nice. All right. So 4 tickets at 11:37. No change yet on the House floor. Hakeem Jeffries now speaking 5+ hours trying to delay the Trump mega bill. We'll get back to the Capitol in just a second. Reminder, your 10 a.m. keyword in the $1,000 Thursday is fireworks. Fireworks. You know how to spell it. I'm not going to spell it for you, but enter that into the WSB Radio app. When we come back, updating the Diddy verdict. What's his future on the radio? Diddy songs. Did he produce songs? What are we going to see or not hear on the radio? We're going to talk to the program director from our sister station, KISS 104.1, after we check traffic, checking delays downtown. Here's Smiling Mark McKay.
Going to be that way all day long, Mark. I predict that 75-85 corridor, leaving Atlantic Station, trying to work your way through Midtown, downtown on the southbound side especially. It's heavy in northeast Atlanta on 400 as you dump off onto I-85 at the merge there, rolling south towards 17th Street. Extra pressure on the connector, extra pressure on the south side. Crash went to the shoulder, had all lanes blocked for a moment on I-75 southbound at Jonesboro Road, exit 233. Up and running there, but only to hit slow traffic again. A lot of folks making the move out of town on I-75, leaving Stockbridge, with delays at I-675 down to Hudson Bridge Road, exit 224. This report sponsored by Whole Foods Market. Find summer's sweetest sales at Whole Foods Market. Save 50% on ice cream and frozen desserts with Prime through July 15th while supplies last. Shop in-store or online. Terms apply. Smile Mark McKay, 95.5 WSB.
In Atlanta, there is always something happening.
Tanker truck crashed into the median. The Triple Team Traffic Center has you covered.
No traffic getting through in either direction.
Helping you on your commute.
Avoid the area at all costs. Take Highway 155 or Highway 4223.
Brought to you by the Cool Ray Lifetime Parts and Labor Warranty.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Hey everyone, it's your buddy Shelly Winter here. Join me this Saturday at noon for the Car Guys with Kevin Deutsch from Butler Lexus of South Atlanta. Buy or lease, fix or sell, everything you want to know about cars, we will cover Saturday noon to 1 right here on 95.5 WSB.
The Love Your Home Minute from TE Certified. Hi, it's Chris Chandler with Josh, the local owner of TE Certified Electrical, Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. You know, Josh, that's him you see jumping out of the back of their trucks. So what's an electrical upgrade that has made you love your home even more?
Oh, the outlets by my nightstand. So this might seem like a really small thing, but I absolutely love it. When we first moved into the house, this is one of the first things I had the electrical team come out to the house to do. They put in new outlets right next to my wife and I's bedstand. And of course, they put the ones that had the USB ports in them. So now I don't have to worry about my charger, my laptop, my phone. And we do this all the time for people who want power somewhere, but they don't want to look at a cord. So this is soffits, this is garages, offices. We do this for TVs, clocks. Basically, somewhere you want power, you wish you had it, but you don't, we can make it happen.
People will think it sounds like a lot of trouble or hassle.
It can be, but not for a TE certified electrician.
TE certified, we love your home.
What is All Care? All Care is expert urgent care and primary care under a single roof, offering convenience and continuity for your healthcare needs. All Care is a team of physicians and clinicians who know you and your medical history, so they can provide the personalized care you deserve. And with both family and immediate care services offered 7 days a week, All Care means seeing your doctor on your schedule. 15 convenient locations, same-day appointments, and walk-ins welcome. Remember, urgent care plus primary care equals All Care. Learn more at allcare-ga.com.
Overhead Door Company of Atlanta is hiring residential garage door technicians and installers. You can earn a hiring bonus up to $2,500. Apply today at overheaddooratlanta.com. Overheaddooratlanta.com.
The genesis of this bill, the focus of this bill, the justification for all of the cuts.
That's
that
House
will hurt
Minority
everyday
Leader
Americans.
Hakeem Jeffries. 5+ hours on the floor right now, delaying what appears to be the inevitable, the passage of the big budget bill. We'll get the very latest at the bottom of the hour here. Welcome back to the Mark Arum Show. Continue our coverage of the Diddy verdict. Early in the show, we went to New York City. Peter Haralambous from ABC laying out what the verdict meant and what the future for Diddy is. Will it be behind bars or not? In the meantime, he has denied bail and is back in that really tough situation in the Brooklyn facility. But the question I have, Deborah, and I mentioned, unabashed Diddy fan. I love his music that he's made, the music he's produced, the movies that he was in. So I was kind of stunned with these allegations. I'm just questioning his future, if there is any, in the business. Joining us live, Director of Branding and Programming for our sister station, KISS 104.1, Michael Saunders. Michael, good morning, sir.
Hey,
Thanks
good
for coming
morning,
in.
Mark. How are you? How's it going?
So you are in charge of the juggernaut that is KISS 104.1. You determine what kind of music gets played, doesn't played. What's the future of Diddy on Atlanta radio or radio in general?
Great question. I think it's no different than what it was before he was actually accused of these allegations.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to continue to play his music. We have to learn to, and we have done that, to separate the artists, their personal lives, and their music. When we test music on these radio stations, if the audience wants to hear them, that's what we're going to do. We are here to satisfy the appetite for our audience.
Yes.
And in doing that, if that's what they want, whether it's songs that they love from Diddy or songs that they never cared for, we won't play those, but the ones they like, we'll continue to play those.
Serving the listeners.
Absolutely. It's all about the listeners.
Now, if and I don't know if you'll see this, but if you continue to, and most of the success that he's had has been as a producer, so you might not hear his voice on some of his biggest hits, but on the songs that he has released, if you hear from the audience saying, hey, why are you playing Diddy now?
Yeah.
You know, you might react to that if there is pushback from the audience.
Yeah, we'll address that. But, you know, Diddy is one of those artists that he was so amazing and necessary during the 90s and part of the 2000s that we probably don't fully understand the impact that he had on all music. So if you talk about pulling his music, you may be pulling music from Faith Evans, 112, the Notorious B.I.G., and many, many others. So we have to be careful with that, because I don't know if you don't want to hear his voice, maybe that's one thing, but it's something totally different when you talk about the production that he did music-wise and as a producer.
Now, as far as on the KISS Morning Show, the amazing KISS Morning Show, Tony,
Thank you. They're doing a great job.
What have they been hearing from your audience during this whole trial and the allegations?
You know, it's really interesting. I think, you know, this morning that was all about our coverage on KISS 104 with Tony and Tony. And, you know, we got a large contingency of the audience saying, you know, it really doesn't matter to them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if he was found not guilty, but guilty on certain charges, they're like, hey, it's onward and upward. It's, you know, just another celebrity that, you know, the system has excused or has convicted. And that's the way they look at it. But I don't think, even yesterday when it first came down in the middle of the day with Ramona DeBro, who was sitting in for Darren Ducati, she said, hey, these people really don't care. They called in with their opinions, and they was like, it is what it is. Let's move on.
I'm the same way, and I've said this time and time again. I think Mel Gibson is a horrible person. He said horrible things about my people. But, man, if Braveheart's on, I forget about it. I'm like, oh, this is such a good movie. I understand that. Michael Saunders, Director of Branding and Programming from KISS 104.1, Atlanta's R&B, joining us live here on the Mark Arum Show. What differentiates this case, if there is a difference, between R. Kelly? Like, R. Kelly, we don't have to rehash what went there, but I know he lost a lot of radio play after all of his stuff came out. Is it just be different type of allegations? It's the conviction. Is there anything that separates the two?
I think his is more about the conviction. It's about the things that people saw and the rumors that was leading up to what R. Kelly was doing. I think it's one thing when you have with a case like Diddy, what we saw. We saw a lot of the young ladies agreeing. No one was forced on their, against their will. With R. Kelly, you're talking about 13-year-old, 14-year-olds.
Yeah, underage. That's the difference there. Yeah.
We looked at that as like, were you really able to make a sound decision at, the age? But then there were parents who allowed their 13, 14-year-olds to be in a room with Rob. So I'm like, as a father, I could never see myself doing it. I don't care who it is.
I can see the difference here. Final question for you, Michael. Does he have a future in entertainment, Diddy, going forward? Will he produce more music? Will he be in more movies? Or do you think that, that era of his segment of his life is done now?
I think, even before this happened, I think his career from a music and a producer standpoint that ship has sailed. I don't care what he had done. If he had been, a saint, I think that ship has sailed. Yeah. So that's irrelevant anyway. But I think that he has an opportunity to, create a book or movie about his life and about this whole thing and what happened and what led up to that. I think that may be his next entrepreneurial opportunity there, not so much as the production. Because some of the music he put out long before this, it didn't do well anyway.
Okay.
So I think that's a moot point.
Yeah.
For him.
He's kind of aging out of the industry.
Exactly.
All right, KISS 104.1, amazing radio from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. and then from noon until 7 p.m. 9 a.m. to noon, you want to keep it locked right here.
That's right. That's right. Mark, you're fantastic, man. I'm honored to be on your show, and thank you for the invitation. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for your insight. Really interesting
Anytime.
stuff. All right, KISS 104.1, our sister station. Phenomenal job down the dial. All right, news, weather, and traffic. When we come back, the latest on the budget bill. And us busy 4th of July travel weekend. Travel expert Peter Greenberg is going to join us. And one more chance to win $1,000 before the news. 10 a.m. keyword is fireworks. 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 Enter that into the WSB Radio app or at WSBRadio.com.
I know the dream. Better prices, better views. Window comfort, meant just for you. Window comfort.
Window Comfort's exclusive window line is built for Georgia's extreme heat and guaranteed to lower your energy bills. Right now, get buy two, get two free with no payments till 2026. Schedule your no-pressure estimate today at windowcomfort.com.
Better prices, better views. Window comfort, meant just for you. Window comfort.
At the Original Mattress Factory, we make mattress shopping easy. We offer our lowest and best price to everyone, every day, so you can shop when you're ready. We show you exactly what's inside of our mattresses so you can see and feel the quality for yourself to ensure you're getting the best value. And we offer a no-pressure shopping experience. Our team is here to help you find the best mattress for you. It's that easy. Visit an OMF location today to see the Original Mattress Factory difference for yourself.
Is that knee, hip, or shoulder pain just not getting any better? Are you stuck in a cycle of steroid shots and now they're talking surgery? Before you go down that road, hit pause for a second. Hey, it's Mark Arum. I want to tell you about something that helped a lot of people get their lives back without more meds and without going under the knife. It's QC Kinetics, leaders in regenerative medicine using treatments like advanced cellular therapy and platelet-rich plasma, all designed to actually help your body heal itself. No more masking the pain. This goes right to the root of the problem. Their cellular treatments contain growth factors and healing properties to maximize your own body's ability to heal itself. And this is critical. 92% of patients report satisfaction with the results. That's not just a number. It's peace of mind that you're exploring something that's truly working for people just like you.
Real results that let you move easier and live better. Call QC Kinetics today, 770-285-8026. That's 770-285-8026.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It is 10:30. Good morning. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news sponsored by your Metro Atlanta AMCO dealers. Well, a record-setting number of people hitting the roads this 4th of July holiday. AAA saying early morning is going to be the best time to start driving. So if you have not hit the road yet, AAA Northeast spokesman Robert Sinclair says you might want to wait.
Go home, get a good night's sleep, wake up very early in the morning on Friday, and head out on your trip. If you leave at 6 a.m. and your destination is 200 miles away, it takes about 4 hours. Still get there at 10 a.m. and have plenty of time.
Meanwhile, he says Sunday is probably going to be the big rush home, with the worst travel times expected to be around noon to 6 p.m. on Sunday. And Atlanta police are out with their plan to keep holiday weekend crowds safe here.
APD has two fronts to protect the more vulnerable tens of thousands of runners in the AJC Peachtree 10K. Deputy Chief Kelly Collier says a new tactic should stop a car from plowing into participants.
We're deploying hundreds of vehicle barriers throughout the racetrack.
Also watching for trouble, officers undercover in a way you might not guess.
Officers running in the actual race.
At the command center, officers monitoring nearly 5,000 cameras, and in the air, helicopters and drones. At Atlanta Police Headquarters, Steve Summers, 95.5 WSB.
Mostly sunny today, low humidity, highs around 91, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. The nation's highest court agreeing to hear a case that could have implications here in Georgia. The Supreme Court agreeing to hear a case on whether states can ban transgender students from being on sports teams that match their gender identity. This comes just days after the court upheld a Tennessee law that restricts gender transition care for minors. The justices today saying they will hear appeals from Republican leaders in West Virginia and Idaho who will defend bans in their states. A decision on the case expected to be made next summer. Well, fewer kids and teenagers are eating fast food. According to the CDC, the average American aged 2 to 19 gets 11.4% of calories from fast food. A decade ago, that was 14%.
Fast food is a great source for salt, sugar, fat. These are the key causes of high blood pressure, diabetes, and high cholesterol,
which Dr. Darian Sutton says are major contributors to America's #1 killer, heart disease. Happening right now, the House set to pass the GOP's massive tax policy bill. Stephen Portnoy following from Washington.
The bill would extend and expand the 2017 tax cuts and hugely ramp up spending on border security and immigration enforcement. Republican holdouts dropped their objections overnight. Top House Democrat Hakeem Jeffries used his privilege as minority leader to speak without limit. He railed against the bill for hours.
On behalf of the American people, on behalf of their health care.
The Congressional Budget Office estimates some 12 million Americans could lose their coverage as a result of changes in the bill to Medicaid and the Affordable Care Act.
And the president has set a July 4th deadline. That is tomorrow. U.S. employers added 147,000 jobs in June. That's more than what was expected. This as the labor market shows resilience. Despite uncertainty over President Trump's economic policy, the unemployment rate fell to 4.1%. As we take a look at the markets, the Dow is up more than 0.5%, Nasdaq's up almost a full percent, and the S&P's not far behind. It's time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Smile and Mark McKay joining us now from the 24-hour traffic center.
Sabrina, red alert on the west side, the east side perimeter, 285 southbound leaving Clarkston. It's to move damaged vehicles involved in an injury crash. Big first response by fire rescue, DeKalb police, and a hero unit trying to get the last damaged vehicle to the shoulder. Right now, all lanes are being held. 285 southbound, Covington Highway exit 43. I'm watching delays back into the Highway 78 Stone Mountain Freeway interchange. If you're rolling out of Duluth and Norcross, don't make the mistake of going 285 south. Take 85 south into northeast Atlanta, where you will see brake lights leaving Georgia 400 down to Midtown. Stalled out pickup in a bad spot on the West Freeway, I-20 eastbound past Fulton Industrial Boulevard. That's stalled out in the right center lane, causing the backups toward Thornton Road, exit 44. Smile and Mark McKay, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. Mostly sunny today with low humidity, high 91, lows tonight in the upper 60s to low 70s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, staying dry, high 93. Saturday, sunny skies, morning lows in the low 70s, daytime high 92.
It's 80 degrees in Powder Springs, 81 in Conyers. Here in Midtown Atlanta, we have 80 degrees. More news at 11 o'clock, breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
Everyone has an opinion.
We have become an idiotic nation that doesn't know how to even debate anything, so it doesn't surprise
Eric
me.
Von Hessler has an opinion.
You will still age.
And some advice.
Start doing things when you're younger. Drink a lot of water.
Eric Von Hessler, today at 3.
And you will still die.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
On the American people.
Can't stop, won't stop. Minority
We will
Leader Hakeem
continue to
Jeffries
stand up.
continues his now 6-hour speech trying to delay the big budget bill. The latest on that. And travel expert Peter Greenberg joins us live next on The Mark Arum Show.
Oh, popsicle drips, muddy shoes, and summertime messes. Don't let them take over your home. Call Zerorez Carpet and Air Duct Cleaning. Zerorez uses their ZR water technology, no dirt-attracting soaps, no harsh chemicals, just a truly clean, healthy home. Right now, take advantage of their summer sale. Get 15% off all services, that is carpets, air ducts, rugs, tile, and more, all 15% off. Just mention Chris Chandler or book now at ZerorezAtlanta.com, and yeah, they do commercial cleaning too. Zerorez, all they leave is clean.
Hi, I'm Dustin, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company. If you're shopping for an engagement ring, we want you to feel like a kid in a candy store. All of our diamonds are in stock, in-store and online, so you get to use your eyes, not your imagination. Come in and look at marquee-shaped diamonds right next to ovals and pears. As your friend and jeweler, you can trust you'll get your dream diamond at an everyday competitive price. We have the widest selection in-store and at shaneco.com, because a friend knows choosing a diamond is personal. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Heavy rain, high winds, huge hail. Yes, Atlanta, we're in storm season. It's Mark Arum here. You might be faced with a roof repair or a replacement. Do not gamble with any contractor, and there are hundreds of roofers with little to no experience. I want you to trust the experts at Dr. Roof. Trusted name in roofing for over 35 years and backed by their industry-leading warranties. Dr. Roof doesn't cut corners. They're the best at protecting your biggest investment. Dr. Roof, done right, guaranteed.
Hey folks, it's Belinda. What you have planned this weekend? How about visiting the Lakewood 400 Antiques Market in Cumming, Friday through Sunday this weekend? Grab your spouse or your friends and go on a treasure hunt with over 500 booths. Everything you can imagine, from jewelry, collectibles, sports memorabilia, antiques, furniture, handcrafts, and toys. Every aisle and row is a different adventure. Come on out this weekend to the Lakewood 400 Antiques Market, 1321 Atlanta Highway in Cumming. Visit LakewoodAntiques.com.
Here's what you'll get at Wolfpan European Auto Repair in Roswell. Honest pricing, factory-trained certified technicians, and real car lovers working on your Porsche, BMW, Audi, Mercedes-Benz. Just search Wolfpan Auto Repair and see the difference.
It's an all-doors Thursday here on the Mark Arum Show. Welcome back, friends. $1,000 Thursdays in full effect. Your 10 a.m. keyword is fireworks. Going to see a lot of fireworks tomorrow on the 4th of July. Happy early birthday, America. Speaking of 4th of July, huge travel weekend. Actually, it's been a huge travel week. Joining us live, our travel expert, Peter Greenberg. Peter, good morning, my friend. How are you?
I am very good. Happy almost July 4th to you, sir.
Indeed. Before we get to 4th of July travel, this is the first time we've spoke since I came back from Japan. And you might remember I said there were 115 open seats on the flight from LAX to Haneda. And you said, get back to me when you fly. And they were all gone. You were right. They all filled up.
Yes, they did. Look, it's tough to get to Japan these days because the yen is still weak against the U.S. dollar, and everybody wants to go.
It was a phenomenal trip. Thank you for all your expertise, by the way, when I do international travel. Where are you spending the 4th of July holiday, by the way?
Well, it might surprise you if you don't know this already. I'm also a volunteer fireman here in New York, so I'm on duty.
What?
I am. I've been a fireman since I'm 18, so 3 days a week, 7 months a year, I'm on duty, so that's where I am today.
You're such a renaissance. That's awesome, by the way. That's phenomenal. Can I ask you a question? Because as a volunteer firefighter, we've been following that horrible story out of Idaho where the two firefighters were assassinated there. And I suggested that firehouses here in Metro Atlanta lower their flags to half staff. Is that something that can be done at firehouses?
It can be done. It is being done. We've done it here.
Good to hear. All right. Wow, Peter, you're the gift that keeps on giving. Volunteer firefighter. All right, so let's talk about this 4th of July. Seen massive delays at Atlanta's Hartsfield-Jackson Airport. Any advice for folks that are going to be hitting the road or the skies this 4th of July?
Well, according to AAA, about 72 million Americans will be traveling But remember, it's not just today. A lot of people got a head start about a week ago. They're making it a 10-day holiday, not a 4-day holiday. And most of them will be in their cars because gas prices haven't spiked. So that's good news. The real problem is not going to be when they left. Most people got smart about that. The real problem is when they're going to come back. If they're coming back by car, why would you ever want to come back on Sunday? Everybody's going to be doing that. Spread it out. Otherwise, bring a book. You'll be sitting in traffic. But for air travel, of course, weather is the great intangible, as you just experienced in Atlanta. And right now, what I do, I go to an app called FlightAware.com or Flight Radar 24, because what counts is not where you're going. What counts is where your plane is, the actual aircraft that's assigned to take you there. And if it can't get into Atlanta, you're not leaving Atlanta. You need that updated information. You find it there.
Excellent. Overhead bins. Full disclosure, Peter, I flew Delta One to Tokyo, so I didn't have to worry about the overhead bins. But there's some overhead bin rules for planes that we probably don't know about.
Well, the rule is what's above you is not yours. It means if you board first, it's first come, first serve. But here's the real problem. Part of my story is that I got a copy of a confidential memo, speaking of Delta, that went to all their gate agents, and it specified every aircraft type that the airline flies, what the maximum number of passengers are for each plane, and here it comes, what the number of bags each plane could hold in the overhead bins. And in every single case, without exception, it was less than half. So the idea that you can walk on with a carry-on bag and put it in the overhead bin is great if you're the first 50% on the plane.
Oh.
If you're not, it's getting gate checked.
Interesting. All right. Again, I wish that they would charge for carry-on bags and let your checked bags go for free. It'd be so much easier to onboard and offboard a plane with less carry-on. Speaking of onboarding, I flew domestically in Japan. I flew ANA Airlines from
they're good.
Yeah,
they're
Tokyo
good.
to Sapporo, and I noticed this. They board planes in a way that I think we should do here in the United States. So in the United States, we have Delta, just for example. If you have kids or you need special help, you get to board first. Then active duty military members get to board, and then it's like business class or first class, and then the next zone's all the way to the back of the plane. What ANA does is they board all the people that are sitting next to the window first. And it was so easy to get on because that makes sense. Like, all right, get the window folks on, then get the middle seat folks on, and then get the aisle seat folks on.
Okay, but you're forgetting something.
Okay.
The Japanese are organized.
That is true.
America, it's a complete chaotic boarding situation. It's never been fixed. It's never been solved. Any logic that you would apply to it will never work because the people who are boarding are not logical.
Yeah, it was so smooth though, Peter. The only problem I had with ANA Airlines, again, that's a domestic Japanese carrier, was the beverage cart. I asked for a cola, which is how you order a Coke in Japan, and they gave me like an inch of soda. Like they are not very generous with their pours on ANA Airlines.
But remember, the one thing you can say about the boarding process, because you witnessed it, it was orderly.
Oh yeah. It was phenomenal. Yeah. It was great.
Yeah.
Travel.
You see, in this country, we have like 9 separate boarding groups. It should be like this. People with personality disorders, that's boarding group number 1. People who are on their medications, that's boarding group number 2.
Yes.
People who are not on their medications, that's boarding group number 3. People who are acting like children, that's boarding group number 4. I can go on. That's what we should do.
Yeah. A different internationally, too, was the security process. I didn't have to show tickets or passports or anything really, and I didn't have to take my shoes off. It was a different security system in Japan than it was here in the U.S.
Well, that's because it was a domestic flight.
Oh yeah, so I didn't have to show any of that stuff. Travel expert Peter Greenberg joining us. We talked about this story the other day. The FBI warning of possible cyber attacks on airlines. Is this something that travelers should worry about, or is this going to be more like a ransomware kind of deal?
Look, we've seen this system meltdown happen a couple of years ago at Continental when there was Continental, then United. It happened, about a year and a half ago in Europe, the big meltdown. You remember that? Delta's still suing for that because of all the system malfunction. The real question is not whether or not it's going to happen. It will happen. Question is, where's your backup? Have the airlines invested enough money in a substantial backup system that can streamline immediately, like your backup generator if your power goes off. And right now, most of the airlines haven't done it.
Well, they need to invest in that because that's certainly an industry that needs backup. I wanted to ask you another question. So I was able to, first of all, save money. We flew from Atlanta to LAX and then LAX to Tokyo, which basically cut our trip's cost in half as far as the airfare is concerned. But I was able to experience the Delta One Lounge in LA for the first time. Big fan of that. That was really amazing.
You know what? They've done a great job. They're opening a number of Delta One lounges at other of their hubs. The only problem they have is not that it's a great lounge. We'll give them that. It's oversubscribing it, like what's happening at the Sky Club. So if they don't manage it well, it's not going to be a great lounge for long.
It was interesting. And there were a bunch of lounges. There's no Delta One lounge in Tokyo. There are Delta lounges. But there were a number of other airline lounges that I wanted to take a peek in. But I didn't have access to. Aside from the Delta lounges, what are some of the premier lounges that folks should maybe, if they get a chance, to check out when they're traveling internationally?
Well, at least in this country, you've got American opening up a brand new one in Philadelphia, of all places, that's really first class. And they're working on some of their flagship lounges, redoing them like in cities like Miami. But overseas, it's a different story. I remember when Virgin opened up their clubhouse in London. Oh my goodness, they had a sushi bar. they had masseuses. I mean, why would you even want to leave? There's one lounge in Frankfurt only for first class passengers. In fact, it's its own terminal. Lufthansa has a first class terminal where you want to go out 4 hours ahead of the plane because it's too much fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I do enjoy it. I did enjoy the Delta One lounge, and JAL had a lounge. Japan Airlines, I couldn't get in there. I did see though in Haneda that they were soon to be opening the American Express Centurion Lounge, which I was.
Yeah, but the problem with American Express is they're oversold, but before they open, too many card holders. I tried to use a Centurion Lounge in 2 different cities and was told I could only stay for 20 minutes. That'll give you an idea of what we're talking about.
Don't they know who you are?
They don't now.
Peter Greenberg, he is a travel expert, volunteer firefighter. He might be Batman. We're not sure. Peter, we always appreciate our conversation. Stay safe battling the blazes this weekend and have a great 4th of July, my friend.
Right back at you, Mark.
There you go. Peter Greenberg, invaluable asset here on 95.5 WSB. All right, $1,000 Thursdays back. Your 10 a.m. keyword is fireworks, FIREWORKS. Enter the keyword fireworks into the WSB Radio app or WSBradio.com. You have until 10:59 a.m. to enter the keyword. Win $1,000. Again, your keyword is fireworks. Most importantly, though, if you get a phone call after 10:59 from a number you don't recognize, pick it up. Could be us telling you you won $1,000. When we come back, we'll get back to Capitol Hill, the latest on the passing of the big budget bill. But first, travel season is here. 4th of July is mañana. How are we doing on the road, Smiler Mark McKay?
Eastside perimeter's not in good shape. It will improve, Mark, out of Clarkston, trying to get down to I-20. Had all lanes shut down to move a crash to the shoulder. That's where it is now. All lanes back open on the Interloop 285 south at Covington Highway, exit 43. Pretty thick back toward the Stone Mountain Freeway. Been a rugged ride out of Douglas into Fulton County, leaving Lithia Springs on I-20 eastbound. Starting at Thornton Road, crash. One of the damaged vehicles still in the center lane. They've not moved it out of the center lane yet. The I-20 eastbound past exit 49 Fulton Industrial Boulevard. Picking up the volume on the south side where I-75 now out of Morrow, starting to stack up below Jonesboro Road for that slow ride past exit 224 Hudson Bridge Eagles Landing Parkway. It'll just get worse as this day rolls on. Smiler Mark McKay, 95.5 WSB.
If it's happening on the streets of Atlanta.
After suspect refuses to exit home on Summer Chase Drive.
If it's happening on the roads leading to Atlanta.
Looks to be a tanker truck crashed into the median on the JamCam.
95.5 WSB has you covered.
The major culprits squeezing household budgets for auto insurance, gasoline, and utilities.
Your 24/7 news source. Tune in throughout the day to stay up to date.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's breaking news station.
Hey, it's Shelley Winter. Car prices are expected to rise this summer. Do you wait or buy now? At Butler Lexus South Atlanta, there's no guesswork, just peace of mind. All in-stock Lexus vehicles are price locked, guaranteed not to go up. Visit Butler Lexus of South Atlanta or call 800-NEW-LEXUS. Experience the standard of amazing.
This upcoming health tip is brought to you by Kroger Pharmacy. Mold loves moisture. Turn on the exhaust fan when showering or cooking to remove excess humidity and wipe the sink and counter every day to remove puddles of water and moisture. Your neighborhood Kroger Pharmacy is happy to welcome back Express Scripts Medicare D and TRICARE Department of Defense Plan members. It's easy to transfer prescriptions at Kroger.com/pay-or-update. See your Kroger Pharmacy for details.
Only inches separate you from the heavy rain pounding on your roof. Dave Baker, host of the Home Fix It Show, here for Findlay Roofing, the roof guys. Water is your home's #1 enemy, and your roof is your front line of defense to stop it from getting inside. Has your old roof finally lost the battle against all this recent heavy rain? If water has made its way into your home, think of Findlay first. They've replaced over 65,000 roofs locally, all with high-quality work, upfront pricing, and exceptional service. You'll always win with Findlay. You'll never have to worry about them cutting corners. With over 30 years of experience, Findlay goes the distance. They're the extra effort experts, making sure you have a remarkable roof experience. Are you seeing water inside or just not sure how well your roof is holding up after all this recent rain? Schedule a free roof analysis. No obligation, no charge. FindlayRoofing.com.
What you walk on in your home should be wonderful.
Hi, I'm Michael, proud founder of Authentic Hardwood Flooring. Your summer vacation is going to be awesome, but coming home to those floors won't be. While you're gone, let our highly trained installers transform your space. Just imagine coming home to beautiful new floors. Our promise is to make your flooring process painless. Our focus is to make it perfect.
Authentic Hardwood Flooring offers high-quality craftsmanship with an exceptional customer experience. AuthenticHardwoodFlooring.com.
Better prices, better views. Window comfort, meant just for you. Window comfort.
Imagine the relief of windows without annoying drafts or high energy bills. Window Comfort's making it easier than ever with buy two, get two free, no payments till 2026, and expert one-day installation. Go to windowcomfort.com for your no-pressure estimate today.
Better prices, better views. Window comfort, meant just for you. Window comfort.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
A few years ago, my youngest son had something minor turned into something very major in a matter of hours.
It was Medishare that came through for us, and there was no hassles, there was no problem.
That's what's so wonderful about knowing that you're a part of such an incredible ministry.
Medishare is a biblical approach to healthcare where Christians share each other's medical expenses.
Medishare is a family, a group of people that stick with you through the hardest times of your life.
Medishare isn't insurance. It's a nonprofit ministry over 30 years old, and members have shared over $8 billion of each other's medical bills.
We don't have to spend so much on health insurance. You can focus that on supporting other people.
Medishare is affordable.
Medishare is biblical.
Medishare is family. Join thousands of Christians who can help you save on your health care and support your family when you need it. Call 855-51-BIBLE, 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE.
Are you telling me that you built a time machine? Out of a DeLorean?
I'm sorry, I was thrown off. I was expecting Doors music to come back here on the Mark Arum Show. 40 years ago today, Deborah, one of the 50 best movies of all time. I'm saying it's top 50 movie of all time. Back to the Future debuted July 3rd, 1985. Agree or disagree? Top 50 movie of all time.
Oh, absolutely. Back the whole trilogy, yeah.
Fingers crossed. Vinny, have you seen Back to the Future?
Yeah.
All right, good.
Thank goodness.
Heather, have you seen Back to the Future? No, she says. Oh, no. Well, Heather's a baby. We got to get that podcast done with me, Fred, and Ken Charles. 100 movies that Gen Zers should watch before they hit puberty or turn 30 or something. Anyway, great stuff there with Peter Greenberg. Hey, congrats, by the way. I forgot to congratulate Nancy in Monroe. She won $1,000 in $1,000 Thursdays in the 9 o'clock hour. You've got about 4.5 minutes to enter the 10 a.m. keyword into the WSB Radio app or WSBRadio.com. It's fireworks. Fireworks, fireworks. Enter that into the keyword. Won $1,000. $1,000 just like that. Fireworks is your keyword. Continuing to monitor what's going on the House floor. I think it's like 6 hours now. Let's listen live to Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries.
American citizens, how can this be in the United States of America? Some people who might suggest that we should stay away from these stories. No, I'm going to lean into this part of the American journey.
But I'm not going to comment on what the speaker's saying because I haven't been listening. But the fact that he is, as someone that talks for a living, speaking for 6 straight hours is pretty impressive. And Deborah, he doesn't get to sit down like I am right now. If you're watching live at WSBRadio.com, I'm on my tuchus right now. He's standing up at the podium.
Does he at least get water?
He's drinking right now. He's drinking water right now, actually, as you said.
Can you imagine what your voice would be like if that was one of us?
Now, I guess he could pause. Like the thing that kills you on radio is something called dead air, right where just there's no sound. You stop talking. There's nothing going on. I guess he doesn't have to worry about dead air on the House floor. But regardless of whether you agree or disagree, that's any politician that can speak for 6 straight hours without sitting down or a potty break, that's where they'd lose me. The potty break. That's where I would be gone. Anyway, we're just, as soon as he's done with this basic filibuster move, they're going to vote on the bill, and it's going to be a big victory for President Trump and GOP congressional leaders. Speaking of music, Deborah, did you know the Foo Fighters have released a new tune?
Yeah, it's actually an old tune, but yes.
All right.
Two sides to river.
The band is out with today's song, their first new tune in 2 years. Dave Grohl accompanied the release with a lengthy note paying tribute to the band. Most notably, the late drummer Taylor Hawkins, who died in 2022. He wrote, "We all miss you beyond words." The new song, which Grohl plays drums on, arrives 30 years since the release of the Foo Fighters' self-titled debut album. Stacey Lynn, CBS News.
So you say it's a new old song, Deborah?
It's a song that they put together many, many, many years ago and just never released it. It just didn't make the final cut. So it's been around for a while, and then as they hit this anniversary, you go through your archives and maybe you try to rework stuff, and then they re-released it.
Heard. All right. Thank you, Deborah.
Heard.
Heard. All right. News, weather, and traffic in less than 3 minutes. When we come back, Bill Pulte, head of the Federal Housing Finance Agency, has called on Congress to investigate Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell. We'll get the latest from Bloomberg News on that big story. Got a minute and a half to enter the keyword for the $1,000 Thursdays. 10 a.m. keyword is fireworks. Fireworks. Enter that on the WSB Radio app or WSBRadio.com/cash. Good luck.
Riders on the storm.
I couldn't stop talking about it to my family and friends. My knees are my trouble spot. But for me to tell them now that I'm doing so much better, they were amazed, and I've been amazed.
QC Kinetics Cellular Therapies. Yes, it is amazing how these non-surgical treatments deliver joint pain relief for patients like Dr. Eric Williams, a successful chiropractor.
Each week, I just started noticing that I could sleep and not have pain. I could play pickleball. I could do a CrossFit exercise routine.
QC Kinetics revitalizes your joints so you can move again without the pain pills or invasive surgery.
I'm 60 years old and I want to stay competitive as long as I can. And QC has allowed me to do that. They did me right and really made a difference in my life.
Book your free consultation with QC Kinetics today and experience the difference for yourself.
I like to go, move, move, move.
QC Kinetics.
Call QC Kinetics, 770-285-8026. That's 770-285-8026. 770-285-8026.
This is Greg Trzynski of the Original Mattress Factory. People often ask me why our mattresses last so long. The answer is simple. We build them right. Not only are OMF mattresses durable, they give you peace of mind from day one. When you invest in a mattress from OMF, you're investing in better sleep tonight and smart savings for years to come. No more frequent replacements, no more wasted time shopping. To learn more about the true value of durability, visit originalmattress.com and read our latest blog on getting the most from your mattress investment.
WSB Atlanta.
WSB-FM and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
The guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate is the easiest way to sell your home. Now you can save time and make the most money and eliminate all hassles this summer. Hey, Sean Hannity, Mark Spain Real Estate can sell your home with the strongest all-cash offer in the industry and help you move on your timeline. With over 67,000 satisfied clients, you can trust the most experienced real estate team in the U.S. to sell your home fast. Go to markspain.com and start packing.
News, weather,
Traffic. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
It's 11 o'clock. Good morning. I'm Sabrina Cupid. A surprising jobs report this morning. Jim Ryan reports 147,000 new positions were added to private and public payrolls.
The improved employment picture last month came despite tariff-induced slowdowns in hiring and continuing layoffs in federal government. The downside of stronger hiring, though, is that the Federal Reserve may be less inclined to reduce interest rates when the Board of Governors meets at the end of this month.
And the markets like the news this morning. The Dow is up, NASDAQ, S&P all in the green. In Washington right now, a final House vote is set to happen at some point today on President Trump's domestic spending bill. Ryan Noble's reporting Republicans worked through the night to get members of their own party to vote for the massive tax cut bill.
Trump's bill will make widespread changes to programs affecting millions of Americans, including changes to Medicaid and food assistance, along with extending the Trump tax cuts, eliminating taxes on tips and overtime, and funding the administration's mass deportation plan.
And Republicans have set a deadline of July 4th to get the legislation approved. Meanwhile, House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries has been speaking on the floor for hours as he attempts to delay the vote. All right, your weather for today, mostly sunny, low humidity, but still hot. Afternoon highs around 91. We'll have Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast coming up. And the Georgia DOT will try to make it a little easier for those hitting the roads today by suspending any interstate lane closures starting at noon. That's when spokeswoman Natalie Dill says they expect holiday congestion to start reaching its peak.
We cannot say it enough, but plan ahead for holiday travel.
And she says even if you're staying in town, you want to stay alert because this is a bad weekend for deadly crashes. Extreme weather has many people skipping visits to theme parks like Six Flags Over Georgia this year.
Too much heat and too much rain have been keeping many would-be thrill seekers from America's theme parks. This is the busiest time of year, but attendance is off to the worst start since the pandemic ended. An analysis of data from the tracker Placer.ai shows that foot traffic across Six Flags parks fell 17% on average in the 30 days through June 20th. Forecasters expect this summer's weather to swing between record-setting temperatures and severe thunderstorms. I'm Bloomberg's Gina Cervetti for 95.5 WSB.
USA Today says Johns Creek has one of the top dog parks in the United States. Newtown Dream Dog Park comes in at number 3 on its list of top parks for pooches. The fenced-in 1-acre park features artificial turf, sprinklers, agility obstacles, and water fountains. USA Today says the park also includes separate areas for large and small dogs, as well as benches and shade trees for their human companions. It's time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Alex Williams in the WSB 24-hour traffic center with a look at your roads.
Hey, good morning, Sabrina. We are already watching the push to the south side with holiday travel, and I think to throw into the mix, we have some trouble on the right lane in Stockbridge, 75 south before Hudson Bridge Road exit 224. I'm going to zoom in the jam cam to get a better look at that. Over on the West Freeway, Hero on scene to try to clear up this stall out of the center lane, I-20 eastbound before 285, exit number 51. You're stacked up as you leave a Thornton Road, and they just cleared up a crash downtown. It's off to the right, 7585 northbound north of I-20. Hopefully that'll help out the ride that's slow back at University Avenue. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. Mostly sunny this afternoon, high 91, lows tonight in the upper 60s to low 70s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, high 93. Saturday, sunshine continues with morning lows in the low 70s, daytime high 92.
It is 80 degrees in Woodstock and Lawrenceville, 81 here in Midtown Atlanta. We'll have more news at 11:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
I want this town to be near you.
11:04 on an extremely busy news day Thursday. Welcome back, friends. Mark Aram and crew with you till noon on this July 3rd holiday. Hope you have a safe July 4th weekend and happy early birthday, America. We are monitoring what's going on Capitol Hill. Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries will not stop 6+ hours now speaking on the House floor, delaying the vote of the big budget bill.
Apparently, these CBP officers responded, okay, your baby is going to be born here, but you're from Mexico, right?
We've just heard from Speaker Mike Johnson. He said he's ready to pass the bill if Hakeem will stop talking. Quote, we're excited to get this done. If Hakeem would stop talking, we'll get the job done for the American people. Takes a lot longer to build a lie than tell the truth, so he's really spinning a long tail in there, but we are excited. The people will feel the effect of this bill. He said that as Jeffrey stretched his long speech. More from the Speaker. The sooner we can get to it, the sooner the Democrats will stop talking. We'll get this bill done for the people, and we're really excited about it. I'm ready to roll, he continued. So we'll monitor that. When Jeffries does stop speaking, we expect there to be a vote, and surprisingly, with rapidity, we expect it to pass. So we'll provide updates on that story for you throughout the day here on 95.5 WSB. This is a story that jumped off the page for me today. The Fed chair should be investigated by Congress, according to the Federal Housing and Finance Agency head. Joining us live from Bloomberg News and covering the story, Amara Amaokwe. Man, I was practicing all morning long, Amara. Please pronounce your last name correctly for me.
It's Amaokwe. Hi.
Amaokwe, yes, very simple. Amara, good morning. Thanks for your time. This is pretty crazy. Obviously, there's no love lost, right, between President Trump and the Fed chair, Jerome Powell. But what's Bill Pulte trying to get done here?
Yeah, well, Bill Pulte, he's the head of the Federal Housing Finance Agency. And along with President Trump, he has been very, very critical of Fed Chair Jerome Powell, really for a couple of days now, really going on an attack campaign on social media, on TV, saying that Fed Chair Jerome Powell should really be pushing for lower interest rates. And then we saw him come out and say that Congress should actually investigate Chair Powell for a couple of reasons. But one of the things that he brought up was a testimony that Chair Powell gave to Congress last week, where he talked about this extensive renovation project that the Fed is undergoing of its buildings here in Washington, D.C. And he's basically asserting that Powell was not honest in his testimony about that. And so that is one of the reasons that Congress should investigate him. And this is significant because the Fed chair kind of has this protection around him. The Fed and really the Fed chair and really all the governors of the Federal Reserve kind of have this protection around them that makes it kind of difficult to fire them except for cause. And so if Congress were to find that Chair Powell had, for instance, lied or done something else that's considered malfeasance or really sort of a misconduct, that could open the door or make it more possible for President Trump to try and remove him. So that's why people were really paying attention to this call from Bill Pulte.
Interesting. Now, does the Fed chair, does he oversee the budget for the Fed? Would that rest on his shoulders?
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, he's the leader of the Fed, right? So the buck stops with him. And he also, during his testimony last week, kind of disputed some of the media reports that have talked about this construction project, kind of painting it as a very extravagant project that has a lot of these fancy features. So he kind of disputed some of the media reporting around this. And in general, Fed Chair Powell has been really kind of hesitant to engage with President Trump and others in his administration who have really kind of criticized him very sharply, because what Chair Powell often says is that, he just wants to focus on the business of the Fed, which is trying to determine what the right interest rate policy is, determine how to promote employment in the economy. And so he really has not responded to a lot of these attacks. And you can expect that he will continue to do that because he just thinks it's a distraction from the Fed's overall mission.
Now, House Judiciary Committee Chair Jim Jordan told Bloomberg that lawmakers had not discussed the issue specifically, but will take a look at it. At the end of the day, do you think there'll be a full-fledged investigation into the Fed chair?
I think that remains to be seen. I mean, in general, we have seen that members of Congress have been pretty supportive of Chair Powell overall. I think that there are criticisms of him and the institution. Obviously, they got inflation wrong after the pandemic. They didn't raise rates, and a lot of people kind of partly blame them for why inflation kind of really surged after the pandemic. So it hasn't been all roses when it comes to how Chair Powell interacts with members of Congress. But generally speaking, we have seen that members in Congress have been supportive of him. As I mentioned, he was on the Hill testifying for 2 days last week, and we really didn't see that many fireworks from lawmakers towards him. In general, it was pretty cordial. And so, it really remains to be seen whether lawmakers really take up this call from Bill Pulte in a serious way.
Amara Amokwe from Bloomberg News joining us live on the Mark Arum Show. Obviously, President Trump's not been happy with the inaction that Fed Chair Powell has not done anything lowering the rates. Correct me if I'm wrong, but the chairman's term ends next year, right?
It ends May 2026. Yep.
May of 2026. All right. Have we heard from the president about any possible replacements who he might name to that position once Jerome Powell vacates the office?
He hasn't named specific people, but he has said that he has, 2 to 4 people in mind, and there are a couple of names that are out there right now. And this is going to be a really interesting pick because what the president has made very clear is that he wants to put someone in the chair position who is going to lower rates. And the Fed is known as an independent agency that really doesn't want to bow to political pressure on interest rates. They want to be able to set interest rates based on their best judgment of what's happening in the economy. So this sets up a little bit of a tension. Will the person that President Trump puts in there, will they continue that independent streak? Or will they be a little bit more open to doing what President Trump wants on interest rates? So people are going to be watching this pick very carefully because the fear is that if you get someone in there who bows to political pressure on interest rates, then perhaps they're doing things that are not necessarily in the best interest of the economy, right? And so people are watching this very, very carefully and really thinking about what the implications are of who this person, President Trump, is ultimately going to select.
Spoiler alert, I think we know the answer to that question. Amara, fantastic information. Thanks so much for your time. Enjoy your 4th of July holiday, my friend.
Thank you. You too.
There you go. Amara Amokwe, Deborah. Amara Amokwe. I'm batting 500 today.
Is this the same one?
Yes, Vinny. Yes. I get tongue-tied. I'm sorry. But great insight there from Bloomberg News. All right, last hour, we had Tim in Roswell won $1,000 in $1,000 Thursday. Your chance to win right now. 11 a.m. Keyword is heat. H-E-A-T, heat. Like the movie with De Niro and Pacino, Heat. You ever seen that, Vin? Val Kilmer was in it too? Not yet. All right. 11 a.m. keyword is heat, H-E-A-T. Enter the keyword heat into the WSB Radio app or WSBradio.com. You have until 11:59. Enter the keyword, win $1,000. Keyword is heat. Don't forget, if you get a phone call after 11:59 from a number you don't recognize, answer it. Could be us telling you won $1,000. Again, the 11 a.m. hour keyword is heat, H-E-A-T, heat. Good luck. And you'll have more chances to win throughout the day. Eric Erickson is going to give you keywords. Eric Von Hessler is going to give you keywords. Speaking of Von Hessler, if you can get Jared Yamamoto in studio, I want to talk to Jared about something. He's right there. He should be in here right now. We're waiting. In the meantime, let's go back to the House floor. Minority Speaker Hakeem Jeffries continues to speak.
Everybody can afford to live the good life and work hard, play by the rules, experience the American dream.
There's Hakeem Jeffries continuing his marathon speech on the House floor. I thought, Deborah, we were going to get the bill vote during the Mark Arum Show. You're probably going to hear the vote during the Von Hessler Doctrine at some point between 3 and 7 p.m. today on 95.5 WSB. Joining us live in studio, one of the doctrinaires, the most handsome producer in all of producery. Is that moniker still hold true?
Apparently it does,
Okay.
but it's a very narrow field. That's all I have to say.
Yeah.
And as I, approach my 40s now, I'm like, eventually somebody else is going to have to take that title. I'm looking at you, Vinny. You're going to have to take that title
Listen,
eventually.
I say this with a staunch record of heterosexuality. No one will deny that you are radio hot. Right? Deborah, back me up. Like there's different.
Deborah, you don't have to answer that.
When I worked in a bowling alley in college, one of the the cocktail waitress said, "You're bowling alley hot." And I was like, "Oh, all right, I could deal with that." Anyway, Jared, thanks for jumping in. I saw you on social media talking. Obviously, we're all prepped here. Deborah, I know you're super pumped for the FIFA World Cup coming to Atlanta. But you had a social media post, Jared, that as we prep for the World Cup, we've been doing these preliminary events trying to get ramped up to that.
Correct.
And you've been disappointed on how we've been handling it thus far.
Yeah, so I went to the FIFA Club World Cup on Sunday. Messi was playing, Lionel Messi was playing, and so it was Inter Miami playing PSG, Paris Saint-Germain. Paris Saint-Germain just won the Champions League. They're one of the best European clubs in the world. And going out there, my dad is a gigantic...
Where's there? Where did you go?
So I went to Mercedes-Benz
okay.
to watch the game, and it is a trial run for the World Cup. They're
Yeah.
basically like testing things out to make sure that, does the field work out well? Is the crew in the right place? And what I liked about it was it did have the authentic international feel to a
Sure.
game. But when you go to an Atlanta United game, there is a local ATL feel to those games.
Absolutely.
And I think what FIFA needs to do, and what I was so frustrated with, is number one, they took out the local people that run the Falcons games and run the Atlanta United games, because there's a little bit of collaboration between those
Absolutely.
two that give it that feel.
So they brought in FIFA folks.
And they brought in FIFA people. And Mark, what was so annoying was you could tell they had probably never been to Atlanta.
Yeah.
They they worked in Boston the week before, but like they had two MC guys, for example. They had one lady and one guy, and they were both clearly not from Atlanta. And when the board was showing like, oh, what area of town is this, or where are these people from? The way they were saying Atlanta like that, like you just knew it was unauthentic.
Oh, gotcha.
And it didn't have that local feel to it. And if FIFA's going to do this right, I think for every American city that the World Cup is going to be played in, what you have to do is you have to showcase what makes Boston awesome, showcase what makes Orlando awesome, showcase what makes Atlanta awesome.
Is there anything that makes Orlando awesome?
Yeah, I mean, not really. I guess the Mickey Mouse
let me
side of
ask you
things.
this, because I know for the World Cup, Deborah, we covered this story that they're going to have to remove all the commercial aspects, like the Mercedes-Benz logo.
Yeah.
Was that taken for this FIFA World?
It was not for the
Okay.
FIFA Club World Cup. It was not taken down. But what is cool, though, is, again, they do the exact same format as the World Cup, and we have a couple more matches at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. So they have time to get it right.
Yeah.
But, again, don't bring in people that are not from Atlanta to run the event. Run the train whistle. Like at Atlanta United, when we get a goal, it doesn't matter which team scores. Use the train whistle in the stadium. Have local PA announcers in there. Just make it feel authentic.
Are there suggestion box located around Mercedes-Benz Stadium where Jared can put in his suggestions?
No,
for that?
you know what? I was looking for one at the end. Even my dad was like, that kind of felt a little wooden. And I'm like, you're right. It did feel a little
How was the
wooden.
match, though?
Terrible. Inter Miami lost 4-0. But what was so cool, though, is that people are such big fans of Lionel Messi
Oh, yeah.
that he was down 4-0 in the 85th minute. Nobody left their seats, 65,000 people there, and people are still chanting, Messi, Messi.
It's remarkable.
And they're just getting, spanked out there. So it was a cool experience overall, but Mercedes-Benz Stadium can fix that.
When I go to speak at elementary schools, and the kids are like, who have you interviewed? And I name these people, and I'm like, Tom Hanks. And these third graders are like, who? And then I just go, Messi. And they're like, oh,
yeah, Messi.
Yeah, I have not interviewed Messi, but just to win the kids over. All right, Jared, good to see you, my friend.
Good to see you too, man. Any fun plans for the 4th?
I'm going to sleep. And then Meyer and I going to brunch on Saturday. I'm pretty excited about brunch.
You guys have always got the best food Instagram posts, man.
Thank you. How about you and Sweet Tea? What do you guys do?
We are heading up to the lake right after the Von Hessler Doctrine. We've got an Airbnb up there. We got 12. We're 12 people deep at this Airbnb. It's gonna be fun.
All right, I'll follow you on the gram.
Yeah, follow me on the gram, and I will make sure to wear a life vest because I know there's been a lot of craziness out there. I'm going to be very safe out there.
I know. I trust your swimming capabilities. By the way, $1,000 Thursdays will continue during the Von Hessler Doctrine. If, in case you missed it, your 11 keyword is HEAT, H-E-A-T. Enter HEAT into the WSB Radio app or at WSBRadio.com, and you could win $1,000. When we come back, we're going to talk to comedian Caleb Synan. He's at the Punchline this weekend. But first, Trying to get in and out of Buckhead and the Punchline. All the roadway info you need live with Alex Williams.
Now, speaking of Buckhead, you know that one closure is already in place for tomorrow's Peachtree Road race, Mark. They got Peachtree Road shut down between Lenox Parkway and Lenox Road right there in front of Lenox Mall, so just be mindful of that. The rest of the closure will go in place early tomorrow morning from Peachtree and Buckhead all the way down into Midtown and downtown toward Piedmont Park. Better news on the south side. Earlier stall cleared out of the right lane in Stockbridge, 75 south at Hudson Bridge Road. Still got trouble in the center lane on the West Freeway. They're trying to clean it up, 20 eastbound before 285, slowing that ride back to Thornton Road. Traffic brought to you by Sam's Club. Ready for some locked-in summer value at Sam's Club till July 22nd. Prices are held on over 1,000 items, including summer must-haves like ice cream. Sign up for a membership and join at samsclub.com/join. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
It doesn't have to be like this.
You don't have to put up with it.
Shutting down the ramp from 285 east.
You don't have to sit in it. It takes almost 30 minutes to go 400 south.
And you don't have to look at your phone to get out of it.
It is Atlanta traffic, and getting you out of it is what we do best.
We had a lot going on this morning through Henry County.
Updated traffic as often as you need it from local traffic reporters 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
It's a jackknife tractor trailer.
Triple team traffic.
95.5 WSB.
How Atlanta gets there.
Thanks for calling Reliable Heating and Air.
Hi, yeah, my AC just died, and I live in Watkinsville, Georgia. Do you guys come out this far?
Yep, we have over 300 techs all over the greater Macon, Atlanta, and Athens area, and we can fix it fast.
Great, but replacing it's going to be super expensive, right?
How does $69.99 a month sound?
Wow!
Get any size air conditioner from Reliable for only $69.99 a month with zero down, our lifetime warranty, and guaranteed next day installation, or we pay you $500. Go to ReliableAir.com.
Hey guys, you looking for a simple solution to hair loss this summer? We'll get Advanced Hair's breakthrough one-day treatment during their once-yearly summer savings event. It's Mark Arum back with you. Check this out. Your own natural hair begins to regrow the very next day, and Advanced Hair guarantees it will grow. Take advantage of your flexible summer calendar and get the most hair for your dollar during Advanced Hair's best offer ever. For details and free consultations, call 470-660-HAIR or online at advancedhair.com.
If you've ever done a Jane Fonda workout, or if you remember as a kid Rocky running the steps, and if Michael Keaton is still Mr. Mom to you, then guess what? It's officially time to do some retirement planning. It's Wes Moss from Money Matters. Weren't those the good old days? Well, with a little bit of retirement planning, there are plenty of good days ahead. Schedule an appointment with our team today at yourwealth.com. That's Y-O-U-R, yourwealth.com.
All foundations are created equal, and neither are foundation repair methods. That is why you should always turn to Atlanta Ramjack for your foundation repair. Mark Beckham here, and we have carefully designed our foundation repair methods over the years, currently holding 12 different patents for our solutions. So if you see cracks in your brick or floor, or if a door doesn't shut properly, or your windows stick, this can all spell foundation trouble. Visit atlantaramjack.com for your free estimate and peace of mind.
Summer is here, so if you're thinking about selling your home, now is the time. With Mark Spain Real Estate's guaranteed offer, you can sell your home quickly and for maximum value. Hi, it's Chris Chandler. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer on your home today and start packing.
WSB consumer expert Clark Howard.
So VPN, and don't just use any old free VPN you find. That can be a recipe for more trouble. But a virtual private network creates a safe environment for using public Wi-Fi. Most people never get a VPN, use public Wi-Fi, and leave themselves wide open. The thing about the public Wi-Fi overseas, most people don't have a decent data plan outside the United States on a cell phone, and you're left having to use public Wi-Fi as a way to protect your wallet. So you need to protect your identity and everything else and your wallet by having a VPN. When you do use public Wi-Fi, there are lots of good tech articles on how to choose a VPN and which ones are the safest and most secure. I'm Clark Howard.
WSB Atlanta, WSB BFM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
11:23 on the Mark Arum Show, honoring Jim Morrison of The Doors, who passed away 57 years ago today, or 51 years ago today. I don't know. He was 27 when he died in Paris. Our team coverage of the big budget bill continues right now. Joining us with the latest is comedian Caleb Synan. Caleb, thanks for breaking down the budget bill for us, my friend.
Oh, dude, it was hard, but I took a little time off from being on the Diddy jury and did a little light reading. You know, good stuff.
Caleb, very excited. You're in Buckhead at the Punchline. When will you be on the Punchline stage? Because I know it's a funky July 4th kind of weekend.
Yeah, well, on July 4th, it's at 7. Tonight's at 8. And then 7 o'clock Saturday, 7 o'clock Sunday.
Oh.
Good early shows. Plenty of time for fireworks. It's going to be great.
It's like a residency. You got like a Vegas residency at the Punchline.
Oh, yeah. The Punchline's the new Vegas.
Well, I mean,
dude.
that's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. That's amazing.
Oh, yeah.
I'm hoping that the Punchline puts you up at a fancy Buckhead hotel.
Oh, the best one. I think it's the Motel 6. But
well, it's better than 5 other motels, apparently. Caleb, sources tell me that you're what we call in the South a PK, a preacher's kid. Is that correct?
That is correct.
So I got to ask,
explains a lot.
like your family's reaction. You're the son of a preacher. When you're like, hey, I'm going to become a stand-up comedian. What was your family's reaction to that?
Well, they'd seen my dad have a couple of rough sets before, so, it's nothing new. Sometimes these crowds are rough. That 8 a.m. Sunday morning crowd, that's a rough crowd.
Well, I mean, but there's writing skill in both what your dad does or did and what you did, right? Writing sermon, writing comedy. It's a skill.
Oh, for sure. And people don't want to sit in the front row at either one, I've noticed.
No doubt about that. Caleb, I remember you, gosh, how long ago was it you were on Conan O'Brien?
Oh, man, that was 2015, 17, something like that.
As a stand-up comedian, is that the height of just performance to be able to be on one of those iconic late-night shows?
It's definitely the coolest. I mean, the biggest thing now is to go viral on TikTok. But meeting Conan was more fun, and I think I got about $500 out of it. So
you actually get paid for that?
Oh, I couldn't believe it. That was really. My friends were all like, "What was it, $10,000?" And I was like, "That show would not be on the air if you're kidding."
So I know back
$10,000.
in the Johnny Carson days, he would have like producers go out to the comedy clubs in L.A. and discover people and then invite them onto the show. How did you wind up getting on Conan O'Brien's show?
Well, I did it the classic way. He saw me in Canada.
Oh.
So any young comedians go to Canada, and that's how you get on American TV.
And he saw you, and does he reach out to you, or does producers contact you?
Yeah, the producers, and I couldn't believe it worked out. I was like, man, this life is fake if you can just waltz on to Conan O'Brien. But then the show got canceled almost immediately after. So I don't know
not
if
your
that
fault. Hey,
Yeah.
not your fault. It's not. It's not.
What I keep telling myself.
It's not your fault. Sean, don't do this to me. Caleb, really excited you're in town again. Amazing run, residency, the Punchline. Tickets available online at punchline.com. You can see Caleb tonight, tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday. Caleb, thanks for your time. Enjoy your time in our fair city, my friend.
Thanks so much. Happy 4th.
Oh, by the way, plug your social medias. You mentioned TikTok, et cetera. Where can we find you?
Oh, yeah. I'm at Caleb Synan on everything. Synan is SYNAN. I'm the only Caleb Synan on earth. So check me out. I'm on there.
Fist bump. I'm the only Mark Arum on earth.
Hey, look at us.
Yeah.
That'll be easy to find.
We're brothers in a way. All right, Caleb, appreciate it, my friend. All right, Sabrina's got your news, weather, and traffic in 3 minutes. When we come back, heading back to the nation's capital, the latest on the budget battle. You got 2 minutes to enter. No, you got plenty of time. But let me remind you, the 11 a.m. keyword in $1,000 Thursdays is heat, H-E-A-T, heat. Enter that into the WSB Radio app or WSBRadio.com. You could be $1,000 richer. Caleb's on all the social medias, as am I, at Mark Arum, M-A-R-K-A-R-U-M.
What's the biggest mistake you can make when selling your home? Settling for less money. That never happens with Orchard. Disappointing offers can wear you down, causing you to settle for thousands less. You don't have to settle when you sell with Orchard. Orchard reinvented the real estate industry by guaranteeing your home sale and helping you sell on the market for top dollar. First, Orchard gives you cash up front so you can buy and move into your new home first, on your timeline. No waiting, no showings, no double moves. Then once you're all settled in, your Orchard agent helps sell your home on market for top dollar. Here's what one Orchard customer said. I never could have sold without Orchard. I made way more than I expected, and it couldn't have been easier. With Orchard, you never have to settle for less. Buy before you sell and get top dollar for your home with Orchard. Curious how much your home is worth? Visit Orchard.com to get your free home valuation. That's Orchard.com. Orchard.com.
Hey, Mark Aram here for my bug and critter company, Breda Pest Management. I can't tell you how much I love these folks. Protecting the Aram household inside and out, friendly customer service. They get the job done right, and it's guaranteed. Pests, not a problem at the Aram household anymore because Breda is better at beating bugs. Just ask my wife. And you know what? They do it right, protecting the outside and inside of your home. If your current company, by the way, claims to protect your home from pests, shouldn't that include your actual home and not just your yard? It's the bugs inside your house that you want gone. And inside your home is where your current company doesn't go anymore. So if your pest control company is doing less and charging more, you need Breda Pest Management to protect the outside and inside of your home. Breda, they handle bugs and critters.
Breda, no need to be afraid of bugs.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It's 11:30. Good morning. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news sponsored by Rocco's European Garage. With a record-setting number of people hitting the roads this 4th of July holiday, AAA says early morning is the best time to start driving. So if you have not hit the road yet, AAA spokesman Robert Sinclair says you might want to sit still. Stay where you are.
Go home, get a good night's sleep, wake up very early in the morning on Friday, and head out on your trip. If you leave at 6 a.m. and your destination is 200 miles away, it takes about 4 hours. Still get there at 10 a.m. and have plenty of time.
Meanwhile, he says Sunday is probably going to be the big rush home. He's projecting the worst time to travel on Sunday would be from noon until 6 p.m. There will be a lot of events around the metro area this 4th, like the Atlanta Journal-Constitution Peachtree Road Race, as well as parades and fireworks. Atlanta Deputy Chief Charles Hampton says, if you see something,
if you do see something, say something. We'll have officers deployed strategically around.
He says Atlanta police are ready for the crowds. All right, your weather for today. It's going to be mostly sunny. Low humidity, though, with a high around 91, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. She'll have Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast coming up in just a couple of minutes. An 8-year-old child is safe this morning after a SWAT standoff in southwest Atlanta. Police recovered the child after a man barricaded himself inside a home on Burbank Drive. They later found the suspect dead inside that home. Investigators still on the scene this morning. Police initially called to that home after reports of shots fired. It's not clear what led up to that incident. The FAA is investigating after a wing flap breaks off a Delta flight from Atlanta on its way to Raleigh, North Carolina. The flap discovered in the driveway of a home there in Raleigh. The Atlanta-based airline confirming the flap came from a Boeing 737 on Delta Flight 3247. The flight landed safely. No reports of any injuries or property damage. Ahead of the final vote, House vote on the spending bill, which funds President Trump's domestic priorities, Democrats are trying to delay the vote. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries on the floor of the chamber for hours, talking about Americans who he said will be hurt by the bill.
I feel the obligation, Mr. Speaker, to stand on this House floor and take my sweet time to tell the stories of the American people. And that's exactly what I intend to do. Take my sweet time on behalf of the American people, on behalf of their health care, on behalf of their Medicaid, on behalf of their nutritional assistance, on behalf of veterans, on behalf of farmers, on behalf of children.
And Jeffries going on for hours there. The vote is expected today. President Trump has said he wanted the spending bill on his desk by July 4th. That is tomorrow. U.S. employers added 147,000 jobs in June. That is more than what was expected. This is the labor market shows resilience. Despite uncertainty over President Trump's economic policy, the unemployment rate fell to 4.1%. Let's check out your money. The Dow right now is up 334 at 44,819. So the Dow's up more than 0.5%. NASDAQ's up more than a full percent. And the S&P is close to being up about 1%. Time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Alex Williams joining us now from the WSB 24-hour traffic center.
Some better news over there on that West Freeway, Sabrina. They got the trouble off to the right, I-20 eastbound. Between Fulton Industrial Boulevard and I-285, still some brake lights from Thornton Road, but those are starting to thin out. You're heading downtown. It's already a slow one, 85 south from the 400 merge as you make your way 75, 85 south down past North Avenue. 75 north and south seeing the holiday travel. Volumes start to pick up in both directions anywhere between Stockbridge and McDonough. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. Mostly sunny today with low humidity, high 91, lows tonight in the upper 60s to low 70s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, staying dry, high 93. Saturday, sunny skies, morning lows in the low 70s, daytime high 92.
83 degrees in Canton. It's 84 right now in Snellville. Kennesaw, you have 84 degrees as well. We'll have more news at noon. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
When you need to know.
This story is developing in Atlanta.
When you want to know.
Severe weather is on its way.
When you have to know.
We'll alert you as soon as this closure clears.
Get notifications
From your source for news.
Get the WSB radio app.
Download it from your app store today.
On organized labor.
The Energizer Bunny, Hakeem Jeffries,
assault.
keeps on going, continuing to delay the vote on the budget bill. We'll go back to D.C., get the latest on the bill's overnight miracle. That's coming up next on The Mark Arum Show.
Trust is not just a word, it's an experience. When your home needs service, you can trust TE certified electrical, plumbing, heating, and cooling. Hey, it's Chris Chandler. TE is the company I trust to fix any problem once and for all. Their 5-star customer experience means easy online scheduling, friendly technicians, and a lifetime workmanship warranty, so I can just sit back and relax.
TE certified, we love your home.
Heavy rain, high winds, huge hail. Yes, Atlanta, we're in storm season. It's Mark Arum here. You might be faced with a roof repair or a replacement. Do not gamble with any contractor, and there are hundreds of roofers with little to no experience. I want you to trust the experts at Dr. Roof. Trusted name in roofing for over 35 years and backed by their industry-leading warranties. Dr. Roof doesn't cut corners. They're the best at protecting your biggest investment. Dr. Roof, done right, guaranteed.
What we love about our ability to help patients at QC Kinetics is seeing their pure delight at finally being able to do the things they enjoy without pain.
I had a patient start treatment with me. He wanted to be able to be active again and do some of his sports that he really enjoyed.
Dr. Ashley Caravelli, a medical director for QC Kinetics, treats patients with chronic joint pain using their body's own biologics. The goal? Get them back to living their best lives without surgery or harmful drugs.
He came back and he goes, what I wasn't expecting was the ability to play on the floor with my grandchildren. Even just saying it now, I have goosebumps because it's changing those small moments that you take for granted.
Don't let joint pain rob you of those moments. See if you're a candidate for QC Kinetics regenerative treatments.
It just warms my heart to be able to help people live the life they want to live and get those small moments back.
Call QC Kinetics, 770-285-8026. That's 770-285-8026. 770-285-8026.
Summer is peak hosting season, right? Don't let a grimy house keep you from having company over. It's Chris Chandler, and Wise Guys Pro Wash got my place clean and bright and guest ready in just one day. They handled everything, house and deck, driveway, even my dirty roof, and their soft wash kept everything safe. No paint peel, no damage, just clean. If you got people coming over this summer, be sure Wise Guys Pro Wash comes by first. Mention me, Chris Chandler, for $70 off at wiseguysprowash.com. Book now before they fill up.
He packed in the animals 2 by 2.
Ox, a camel, and a kangaroo. Happy July 3rd, my friends. America's birthday tomorrow. We will be off, but there'll be a best of Mark Arum show and then back live on Monday. Coming up in just a second, earlier in the show, we went to the White House and talked to CBS's Willie James Inman about President Trump's reaction to the miracle at 3 this morning, clearing the major hurdle. It looks like President Trump's bill will get passed as soon as Minority Speaker Jeffries stops talking. When the bill is passed, you'll hear it here live on 95.5 WSB. So we'll go back to that Willie James Inman interview in just a second. But first, we have some tickets to give away on this Thursday. Deborah, what do we have?
Yeah, we actually have 2 pairs of tickets to give away. A big concert coming up this weekend. It is the Brotherhood of Rock Tour with Styx, who you just spoke to a little bit earlier, and Kevin Cronin of REO Speedwagon, and Don Felder, formerly of the Eagles. Sunday, July 6th, Ameris Bank
This
Amphitheater.
Sunday?
Yeah, this Sunday.
All right, so we have 2 pairs of tickets, so 2 winners. Vinny, you've been screening the calls for us for a long time. I'm going to let you pick what caller numbers. Let's see how much you like or dislike Miss Heather screening the calls today. What callers?
Okay, let's go with 13 and 14.
All right, very nice. 13th and 14th callers to 404-872-0750. Callers 13 and 14, Heather, to 404-872-0750. Each caller will win a pair of tickets to see the Brotherhood of Rock this Sunday, Ameris Bank Amphitheater, and you'll see Styx, which is really cool, and REO Speedwagon. What else, Deborah? There's one more.
Belder of the Eagles.
Eagles. I mean, that's a great show. So congrats, callers 13 and 14 to 404-872-0750. And don't forget, you're in the midst of a $1,000 Thursday. You can win $1,000 this hour. Just enter the keyword HEAT, HEAT, onto the WSB Radio app or at WSBradio.com. All right, continue our team coverage of the big budget bill. Joining us at the White House from CBS News, Willie James Inman. Willie, good morning. Thanks for your time.
Hey there. Good morning. Good to be here.
I mean, no other way to say it, but huge victory for President Trump right now.
Yeah, that's right. It's looking like that could potentially be the case. Now, of course, the bill has to still pass a final vote. And at last check, the Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries was speaking on the House floor, essentially a delaying tactic before this moves through. But this would be the president's first major legislative accomplishment during his second term. It includes a huge number of priorities for this president. No taxes on tips. That is temporary for several years, of course. It also includes funding for border security, funding for the military, things that the president really wants to get accomplished in this bill, all packed in there, and he wants to get all of it to his desk by July 4th.
Yeah, Willie, if there was one, I mean, because he campaigned a lot of things that are in this big bill, right? And you mentioned tax on tip, no tax on overtime. Is there a specific feather in the cap, do you think, that the president will have if and when this passes? And, a legacy building moment perhaps in this bill for him?
Well, I think one of the things this White House oftentimes likes to promote, and the president himself does this, is promises made, promises kept. And that's part of it, right? These are things that the president talked about on the campaign trail that he promised. And for him to be able to deliver that in the first several months within his second term is certainly something that he can tout directly to American voters when he goes out and speaks to them. It would obviously be a major accomplishment to have this on July 4th, tomorrow, America's birthday. This is a self-imposed deadline, not a hard and fast deadline, so to speak. But it really would be one of those, I guess you can call it victory lap moments for this president as he takes a leadership role and a really invested role in wrangling some of the members of Congress up there on Capitol Hill, as you mentioned, making calls until late in the night, posting on Truth Social, trying to compel members to support this legislation, but also having those in-person meetings yesterday as well. We didn't see the president yesterday, but he was working behind closed doors, meeting with members, meeting with some of the holdouts to get them across the finish line to support this big, beautiful bill, as he calls it.
Oh, very interesting. Do we know who he met with behind closed doors, or has that not been released?
Yeah, some of the lawmakers that he met with posted on social media. For the most part, the White House doesn't necessarily advertise who the president meets with, but a White House official did confirm to CBS News that he did have these in-person meetings up at the White House, I should say. And, of course, we know he is working the phones and posting on Truth Social. But the president does remain in touch with key members in the House, of course, Speaker Mike Johnson. Of course, he's talked with Leader Thune in this case to try to get this across the finish line. And remember, he has a razor-thin margin here. They can only afford to lose a few votes in the House. Of course, it passed in the Senate with that tie-breaking vote being cast by the vice president. So he really can't lose many votes here, and he's trying to work and make sure he gets all the support that he can to support this bill.
Willie James Inman, CBS News at the White House, joining us live on the Mark Arum Show. I was dubious, not that the bill would get passed, but you mentioned that self-imposed July 4th deadline.
Mm-hmm.
It just seemed to me that there were too many votes to move in that short of a time. But again, I am done doubting Speaker Johnson and President Trump because they got those votes to move. Is this just magnify the political whip power that the president and Speaker Johnson have?
It really does. I think you're right on the money. President Trump as you know, is a showman. He was in reality TV. He loves the optics. He loves putting on a show. And it's really been interesting to watch the past couple of weeks in Washington. Not only do you have the strike on Iran and then the ceasefire negotiated, you have President Trump negotiating a hostage release deal between Israel and Hamas. But on top of that, he has this domestic accomplishment on the cusp of it, right? Using the bully pulpit, so to speak, using his social media account to essentially compel these members to support this, or I'm going to support a primary challenger against you. The president is using all of his political power, his messaging to go after those members who oppose him, but in this case, to go after those members who are really on the fence about supporting this and try to compel them to support what would be the first key piece of legislation for his second term. And it really just shows the political power, not only the president, but that the Speaker of the House has as well in terms of whipping those members to their side.
Yeah, pretty remarkable. 24 hours ago when we were talking about this story on the show, I didn't foresee 24 hours later being like, oh, it's going to pass today. But by all indications, that bill will pass sometime this morning. That being said, Willie, assuming this passes, do we know what the president's 4th of July plans are?
Yeah, so the president will be here at the White House. And he is expected to meet with some of the B-2 bombers, the B-2 pilots who flew the B-2 bombers in Iran. The president and the first lady are scheduled to meet with them. There will be, of course, a July 4th celebration here in Washington, D.C. They already have the flags up all across D.C. I'm talking to you right now. I'm standing outside of the West Wing. So we know that the president will be here to celebrate the 4th of July, and perhaps this will be one of those accomplishments that he can tout on America.
Might we see Willie James Inman this morning from CBS at the White House. Again, everyone in wait-and-see mode. Let's check back in on the House floor. Hakeem Jeffries.
Central State University.
Still talking. He's still going. The Energizer Bunny. Bless his heart having to stand up there and talk for 6+ hours. As someone that talks for a living, that can be a struggle. And the lack of bathroom. I don't think you can tap out, Deborah, for a bathroom break.
No.
Which leads us to our next story. You know how much I love fast food. And I know a lot of folks are going to be excited about this next story, but it's going to impact me nil. McDonald's is launching new breakfast items. It's spicy Mickey D's for breakfast.
Yeah, they've got 3 new options if you want to roll through the window in the morning and get your breakfast. You get the spicy McMuffin, the spicy sausage McMuffin, and the spicy sausage McMuffin with eggs. So just like your normal McMuffins, but this one's going to be with spicy pepper sauce on it.
Oh, all right. So it's not a spicy sausage patty. They're just adding spicy pepper sauce. By the way, because I'm going to get reaction from Alex Williams on this because he digs spicy stuff. But Cheryl did a story about the younger generation is consuming less fast food than they did prior.
Yeah.
I am not, but I think that fast food breakfast doesn't count as fast food.
Why?
Yes, it does.
No, like a McMuffin. I could very well just make that at home, right?
But you
It's just the English. I don't, but it's just because of time. It's English muffin and egg and cheese.
Fast food because of time.
But this, I don't think it's as bad as like a Big Mac or a Whopper, like a chicken biscuit from Chick-fil-A. That's not fat. That's just breakfast. I don't think that counts.
Okay.
I don't think that counts. Anyway, so Alex Williams, I know you. Every time I go to Chick-fil-A, you want the spicy chicken biscuit. I know you're a fan of the McDonald's breakfast bagels. Alex, are you going to sample the new spicy breakfasts at McDonald's?
I have to. There's no doubt about it. I don't get as excited about it. Their spicy chicken sandwich, the lunchtime when that's good.
Yeah.
I was wondering the same thing when Deborah was saying it. Are they making like the McMuffin spicy? But you said it's like the sausage?
Just the sauce.
Yep.
No, it's a sauce.
a sauce. Oh,
Yeah.
it's a sauce.
So,
Okay, yeah.
You're down?
I'm down.
All right.
And if it's good enough, then they need to start putting it in the packs, just like you can get, the spicy sriracha at Chick-fil-A and stuff. Yeah.
All right. Do me a favor, Alex, because I'm not going to, my stomach can't handle the spicy sauce. So check it out over the holiday and let us know on Monday how it is.
I'll do it.
All right. Alex Williams is going to, I gave him homework. I gave poor little guy homework, but I'll reimburse you. Give me their seats, and I'll pay you back, Alex. How's that?
I might have to download the app like you got. Start earning those reward points.
There you go. What's going on the roads, brother?
Not too bad right now. We are tracking some volume. Traffic troopers tell me they see it, and I see it as well on the Jam Cam. I think it's just holiday travel. 75 northbound between Marietta and Kennesaw. Pretty slow passing that split with 575, but it improves once you get past Chastain Road. If you're heading into downtown, 85 southbound stacks in right at the 400 merge, and then it stays pretty slow down toward Cortlandt Street. Don't forget, already got part of the closure in place for tomorrow's Peachtree Road race. Peachtree Road already shut down in Buckhead between Lenox Parkway and Lenox Road. I would just totally avoid that area if you don't need to be over there. It's already a mess on Lenox, leaving Georgia 400 heading toward Lenox and Phipps Plaza. And we've cleaned up nicely over on the West Freeway. 20 eastbound has improved from Thornton Road, where they got that crash off to the right east of there, right at I-285, the west side perimeter. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
The news of the day through the eyes of Eric Von Hessler.
I've listened to many arguments, and there are good arguments to say that we shouldn't. I'm just saying.
If it's on your mind, it's on his.
This is the only way to do it. Some people are going to lose their job, and then they're going to be put back in the job.
Eric Von Hessler, today at 3.
It's about you. You're being celebrated.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Motorcycle riders know that a distracted driver can knock you down. It's nice to know that Steel Horse Law can pick you back up. Hey, it's Eric Von Hessler for Steel Horse Law, the Stein and Karen Law Group. In the worst possible scenario, when someone causes you to lay your bike down, Steel Horse Law will get you the best possible settlement. Their name strikes fear in the heart of big insurance companies because Steel Horse Law is respected and will make them pay. Visit steelhorselaw.com.
If you're thinking about selling your home this summer, now is the time. With the guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate, you can sell your home hassle-free and make the most money. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer on your home today. That's markspain.com and start packing.
Belinda Skelton here for Atlanta Vision Institute, and I have Stephanie with me. She's a patient of Dr. Ashraf, and Stephanie recently had the laser optics procedure. Stephanie, why did you have the laser optics procedure?
I wanted to be able to not ever use reading glasses again because I got tired of pulling my phone out of my purse when I forgot them to blow things up, and I just wanted to see.
And how was life after laser optics procedure at Atlanta Vision Institute?
Incredible. I could read the bottom of a nail polish bottle. I don't need my readers, never used them since I've had my laser optics procedure. It's been amazing.
What would you say to people who are on the fence about having the procedure?
Do you want to see?
That says it all, folks. Folks, if you want to see like Stephanie, go to 2020atlanta.com. That's 2020atlanta.com.
Heavy rain, high winds, huge hail. Yes, Atlanta, we're in storm season. It's Mark Aram here. You might be faced with a roof repair or a replacement. Do not gamble with any contractor, and there are hundreds of roofers with little to no experience. I want you to trust the experts at Dr. Roof. Trusted name in roofing for over 35 years and backed by their industry-leading warranties. Dr. Roof doesn't cut corners. They're the best at protecting your biggest investment. Dr. Roof, done right, guaranteed.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
A few years ago, my youngest son had something minor turned into something very major in a matter of hours.
It was Medi-Share that came through for us, and there was no hassles, there was no problem.
That's what's so wonderful about knowing that you're a part of such an incredible ministry.
Medi-Share is a biblical approach to healthcare where Christians share each other's medical expenses.
Medi-Share is a family, a group of people that stick with you through the hardest times of your life.
Medi-Share isn't insurance. It's a nonprofit ministry over 30 years old, and members have shared over $8 billion of each other's medical bills.
We don't have to spend so much on health insurance. You can focus on supporting other people.
Medi-Share is affordable.
Medi-Share is biblical.
Medi-Share is family. Join thousands of Christians who can help you save on your health care and support your family when you need it. Call 855-51-BIBLE, 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE.
I feel the need for speed.
Another big birthday today. Tom Cruise was born today. Deborah, guess how old Tom Cruise is?
62.
Ooh, very close, 63. You would have won on Price is Right. I don't even know. I think my favorite Tom Cruise movie All the Right Moves, one of his first movies.
Oh,
way back, was a high school football story. That was a good movie. Anyway, happy birthday, Tom Cruise. Deborah, before we get to this AI story, we have an update on the breaking news we told you last segment about McDonald's spicy breakfast. I gave Alex Williams a homework assignment to sample it this weekend, but apparently, Alex, that spicy breakfast doesn't debut till when?
Yeah, what I'm reading is next Tuesday, July 8th.
All right.
So I'll get up early and head up Peachtree, and I'll do it.
All right, excellent. Thank you, Alex Williams. Your $1,000 Thursday keyword, you got a few minutes to enter it for the 11 a.m. Keyword. It's HEAT, H-E-A-T. Enter HEAT into the WSB Radio app or at WSBRadio.com. You can win $1,000. Congrats to Vicky and Cumming and Don from Swanee. They won tickets to see the Brotherhood of Rock this Sunday at Ameris Bank Amphitheaters. All right, AI. One day I hate it. One day I love it. I love it today, Deborah, because there are still so many unknown texts out in the world. I'm thinking of Easter Island. They have this whole language, and no one knows what it means because all of the people that spoke the language or wrote the language are long dead. But AI has just deciphered a hymn. Is that right?
This is a good case for AI. It was used to decipher an ancient hymn that was found on an old Babylonian tablet. Now, Babylonian texts are some of the oldest known forms of writing that people have discovered, and there's only bits and pieces of it. So when people try to put it together, they can never really decipher it because there's just not enough. Well, AI was able to scan it and kind of fill in the holes and reveal that the tablet was this ancient hymn that they think Babylonian residents would have sung at the time.
That's remarkable.
Yeah.
The only problem is there's no way to verify that. There's no ancient Babylonian dude that you can be like, is this right? Is this the hymn? But I think that's fascinating. So that's the good part of AI. The bad part of AI, I think this was at Hartsfield Jackson. Guy rented a car at Hertz. Was it Hertz, Deborah?
Yes.
He rents a car, right? Vinny, you're not 25 yet, but when you're 25, you can go rent a car on your own. He rents a car and he brings it back, and there was some sort of an AI inspection of the car. Like usually it's just a person that'll say, all right, the windows aren't broken, there's no dents, you're good to go. But AI discovered some sort of damage and charged him how much?
$444 for a scuff on the wheel.
Unbelievable, and other charges too, like a service charge and everything. Is this person fighting back against this AI?
It seems, I mean, they went to kind of complain. I don't know if they're what it's going to say, but I guess they're going to use these AI scanners at Hertz to kind of go over the cars. They say it's more efficient and it's more accurate than having a person show it. But if you do have a complaint, you can talk to a person and get the photos, like before and after photos, and kind of go from there.
Yeah, I don't like that. All right. Big, hefty bill because of AI. So AI, yeah, one day I hate it. One day I love it. Today I hate it and I love it.
Vinny's fact of the day. The first public zoo in the U.S., Central Park Zoo, opened on July 3rd, 1860. It is one of the main attractions in Central Park, New York City.
There's a zoo in Central Park?
I thought that was a known thing.
I didn't know that.
Oh.
Did you know that, Deborah?
I feel like I've known that. Was that not in a TV show?
I've never seen the zoo in Central Park. Central Park's big.
It is big. I've been through Central Park. But...
Yeah, I got mugged in Central Park.
What?
That's a story I'll tell you on Monday. Yeah, gunpoint mugging in Central Park. It was not at the zoo, though. All right, good job, Vinny. Fact of the day. Let's get some stars of the show out of the way. By the way, Deborah.
And now, are you guys ready for the Mark Aram?
I realize subconsciously I'm trying to bury Longoria by giving us all stars of the show while he's on vacation. So all of us get stars, me, Vinny, Heather, Deborah. I just want Longoria to come back from vacation like in a deep star of the show hole. Some amazing guests today. Willie James Inman from CBS. Peter Haralambous in New York City. Michael Saunders, the director of branding and programming from KISS 104.1, commenting on Diddy's musical future. He gets a star of the show. Peter Greenberg, our travel expert and voluntary firefighter. I had no idea. Peter Greenberg's amazing. He gets a star of the show. Bloomberg's, I'm going to mess the name up, Amara Amokwe. I got it. She gets a star of the show. Comedian Caleb Simon, James Young from Styx, and Alex Williams coming in strong. Good stuff, my friend. All right, so we're off tomorrow. There's a best of, back live on Monday. Still waiting for the vote on the House floor, the big budget bill. It'll probably happen during Eric Erickson's show, so he gets to talk about that. He is coming up live noon to 3, and Eric's going to give you more keywords in $1,000 Thursdays. You got one more minute for the 11 a.m. keyword. It's heat, H-E-A-T, heat. Good luck. Go win $1,000. I'm off tomorrow and the weekend, but I'll be active on social media. If you want to see my dog and food pictures, hit me up on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Mark Arum, M-A-R-K-A-R-U-M. Stay safe. Have a great 4th of July. Happy birthday, America.
Said he's going back to a simpler place and time. Oh, yes, he is. Now be with him. I know you will. On that midnight train to Georgia. Leaving on that midnight train.
WSB Atlanta, WSBB FM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's news and talk.
WSB consumer expert Clark Howard, sponsored by Ragsdale Heating, Air, Plumbing, and Electrical.
I love the 4th of July. I am so grateful as the grandson of 4 immigrants to the United States for the opportunities this country has offered me, the freedom that I enjoy. Enjoy your July 4th. But remember, we are in this wonderful, wonderful land that for me is a huge privilege to be here. And I am so grateful that I've had this opportunity.
Hey, if you got weekend plans, make sure your home is ready for them. I called Wise Guys Pro Wash and boom, the house, driveway, and patio were spotless. They even cleaned the roof. I didn't even have to be home. They are truly professionals using the top equipment in the industry, and their soft washing kept my home safe and damage-free, and the results, incredible. Wise